audio sounded a little different. And then
Did
that's
it?
when you,
Oh,
no, it actually sounded better.
okay.
But that's when you had said you couldn't hear me. So it's like,
Oh, okay. Can you
but
hear
as
me
long as we're
okay?
good now, yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
But if you want to, just go ahead and continue. You were talking about the urine, putting the urine on
Yes.
the.
Yes. So yeah, what he did, or what he had me do was he suggested getting female deer urine and rubbing it into a rabbit pelt and then tying that to the flirt pole and having the dog chase that. And just so that it smells and like feels like when he catches it, he's actually catching a real animal. And then doing the exact same thing with like the pelt with urine rubbed into it or some kind of musk rubbed into it. Tying that to the back of an RC car and letting the RC car just drive all around an open field, letting him chase it. And he
Wow.
suggests doing this for hours at a time, Kevin. Yeah, I kid you not, hours at a time. And
Okay.
when the dog gets to the point where he is fully exhausted, like he can't run anymore, do anything else, that's when you can stop and take him on a walk.
So
And
that's right. This is the somatic reset, right?
this is
This
the
is okay.
somatic reset. Yes, yeah.
Gotcha.
So you stop and you take him on a walk, and you expose him to some of his triggers while on that walk. And theoretically, he's supposed to not react to them anymore. Because you don't hold him back or like correct him for reacting. He's just theoretically not supposed to. So, yeah, that's theoretically. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and then I forgot. Okay, so the somatic reset after that, after he's in theory he doesn't react on your walk back home, and then after that you let him sleep. And he has to go into a very deep sleep. And you can't wake him for like a certain period of a couple hours or so. So yeah, that's a somatic reset. And after I tried that the first few times and I told him that it didn't work, he then suggested, which I'm getting to now, he suggested the second thing that I needed to try was using human grade CBD oil.
Yeah, I was gonna say this sounds exactly like the CBD. So
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I told him like, yeah, my dog exercises really well. He's really obedient during play. We do intermittent like obedient things during play and he loves it. But it doesn't prevent him from reacting afterwards. Like it doesn't really change that. It helps him get his energy out, but it doesn't really do anything besides that. So what do I need to be doing now? And so that's when he suggested CBD oil. So I have a little story about the CBD oil. You can buy CBD gummies or like little treats and stuff for dogs that are made for dogs.
I've seen them at the like the health food store or the pet store has them now, I think.
Yeah, they've got them. Yeah, they've got them all over the place. You can buy them pretty much anywhere. But those he doesn't want you to use because they have such a low dosage of CBD oil. He makes you promise, like all these things that I'm calling suggestions. He says, "Promise me now. Promise me, yeah, pinky promise me that you're gonna do this." And he requires you to promise him and be like, "Okay, I promise." So yeah. So that's why I say it's not really just a suggestion. So I should start saying his demands instead because it's not really a suggestion. But so yeah, he tells you to buy human grade CBD oil. And you're going to want to give your dog, according to Robert, 70 milliliters of CBD oil. So I don't know if you know the comparison or like what it is
No.
for human to dog ratio. So in most dog chews that have CBD in them, it is such a low dose that it gets to be like 1, 2, 3 milligrams at the most. And
Okay.
it's not, it just basically helps the dog sleep. I've
I got you.
used CBD gummy dog treats before at work. We used to use them upon owner request, and they didn't do anything except help the dogs sleep inside their
Right.
kennels. Sometimes it wasn't, it was nothing. That's why he wants you to use human grade, because 70 milliliters is like a full dose. It's like the full dropper dose that's recommended on the bottle for human grade CBD oil. And
Okay.
that's supposed to get you like totally relaxed and calmed down and get you to sleep, basically. That's what a lot of people take it for.
Sure.
For a dog though, it has very different effects. So this is something that he told me point blank. It's not a secret because he talks about it in his blogs. So this isn't a secret. I'm not exposing something. His blogs are public, but he told me that he gives his dog CBD oil, and the recommended dose for my dog that he said, which is what he does for every dog, is 70 milliliters twice a day. And the first day that you use it, you only do 70. But then as you continue to go, day after day, you'll start to get up the dosage to be 70 milliliters twice a day.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you've ever used CBD oil with your dog, Kevin. I wouldn't
No,
assume so.
I've used CBD oil, like I've taken it for meat. And
Yeah.
I know that if you take a lot of it, like it'll make you high.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. People think it doesn't, but it
does.
can make you high. Yeah.
My
And
brother, he invested in a CBD company like Crypto, and actually it's a
oh,
really good company. They would send him products and sample. The company was growing, so they'd send him samples. So he had CBD concentrates,
oh
and
wow.
I would take them, and
Mhm.
uh,
Like,
I
whoa.
took I took a few dropperfuls one night, and I was like, damn, I'm high. So, yeah, so
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you take enough CBD, it will get you high, you know.
Yeah, they
Now I
say
don't
it
know,
doesn't, but
yeah, I don't know if there was, I don't, because there's not supposed to be any THC in them, but there may
yes,
just be small amounts of it. But
there's
yeah,
not
you take it,
supposed to be any,
it's not
but
supposed to be. Yeah,
but
yeah, you
yeah,
take enough.
yeah. Yeah, so we tried this only one time because it had such bad results that I searched first. I searched to see like you can't really overdose on CBD, and an
Yeah.
animal can't overdose on CBD. On THC, that can be deadly for an animal.
Okay.
But I was still kind of cautious to try this.
Sure.
So what I did is I gave my dog 5 milliliters. So he suggested 70, or he told me 70. I gave my dog 5 once, and it was terrible. He threw up, he got sick, he slobbered everywhere, and he was sick the rest of the day. And I was like, okay, I'm never trying this again. And it was only 5 milliliters, so that's a tiny, tiny
Nothing
amount.
compared to 70.
Nothing compared to 70, no. It didn't do anything except make him sick. So yeah, I would not suggest trying that if you're watching this video and thinking about it. Just don't, in my opinion. I wouldn't suggest doing it because it was awful. He threw up everywhere. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that did nothing. And CBD for him is one of the biggest issues because he believes that all of a dog's behavior essentially ties back to having high cortisol. And CBD is like his fix-all for that. And so he starts every dog that he's taken on as like a client, according to what he told me, he starts them on CBD oil.
Oh,
And
he starts with that?
human grade. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I didn't know.
that's
I
what
see.
he told me.
I knew it because when I've called him out on it, he would say, "Oh, it's a last resort." Not, but
Mm-mm.
so I didn't know that was like the first thing he suggested.
That
Now,
was, yeah.
I don't, because Robert's not wrong in that. But see, this is the problem with just reducing everything down to this Skinneristic psychology is that
Mm-hmm.
yes, cortisol is what, a dog will have
Right,
high levels of cortisol when they're in
right.
certain states of mind, when they're stressed, but you can also have higher levels of cortisol when you exercise. So
Mm-hmm.
the cortisol by itself doesn't tell you anything. What is leading to the heightened cortisol? But again, socially, what is going on? Because like I said, like you can have high cortisol as a result of going for a run, which there's nothing social happening there. You're just going for a run.
Yeah.
And you can also have high levels of cortisol if somebody is, I don't know, breaking into your home and threatening it's like, yeah. So the territorial instincts kick in,
Wait, what was
right?
that?
Wait, territorial instincts. Yeah.
What's
So
territorial instinct?
well,
Huh?
humans don't,
That
animals don't
doesn't
have those.
exist.
No,
No.
they don't exist. But
Mm-mm.
so yeah, it's like what is causing the cortisol? The cortisol in and of itself is not, it's like one ingredient to a cake. Well, you need more than that one ingredient to bake the fucking cake. We need more than that, right?
Well,
So addressing the cortisol by itself, what does that do for you, really? You
yeah.
know?
Well, what Robert believes is that the type of food they eat leads to them having high cortisol, just in
Yeah.
general.
And
And
listen,
so,
I am in agreement with Robert as far as the food is a problem.
yeah, I
Um,
agree too.
definitely. But
Mhm.
because this is something I wish I would have brought up in the debate. The conversation never went there, but he talks about how, right, due to diet, a dog's pancreas will work over time, and they could have low grade pancreatitis, which
Right.
that discomfort and pain may lead to the dog becoming aggressive because they're in a constant state of pain and discomfort. And I'm thinking, I've never shown up to a client's home where we were dealing with an aggressive dog, and changing their diet had anything to do with it. That there
Hmm.
wasn't because of that there was some kind of medical discomfort. Now, and listen, if you have an aggressive dog, you want to rule out medical concerns. However, usually if you have a dog who just like overnight becomes seriously aggressive and like it's just things flip on a dime and it's like out of nowhere and you
Yeah.
generally have a pretty well adjusted dog, okay, yeah, I would probably take him to the vet and be like, what's going on here? Because it's
Yeah.
just so abnormal and out of nowhere, as
Mhm.
opposed to something building up over time. And then one
Right.
day it just kind of comes to a head. I mean, that's a different
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I agree completely. And
Yeah.
and yeah, and especially if you have a dog that's like overall relatively healthy in every other aspect, but just has resource guarding issues or issues
Right.
with aggression or reactivity, things like that. Um, it would lead you to believe that it's something beyond just like medical or physical
Right.
discomfort,
Exactly.
something like
Right.
that. It's something social. So, but yes, CBD oil, he told me that he suggests it and recommends it for all dog owners. And he even told me that I needed to take it myself and take a dose myself before ever taking him out so that I would be
So you be
calm enough.
calmer.
Yes, yes, so I'd be calmer. Because I think,
Oh my God.
he talks about Conrad Most all the time. And I
Yeah.
think what he sees in his head when he's thinking, oh, I work on dog training, he sees like a guy slapping a dog and yanking him around by a prong collar, and the prongs are stabbing into the dog's neck and
Yeah.
causing it to bleed. And like, my walks with my dog have never once looked anything like that. Even at
Right.
his most reactive, I've been able to control him, okay?
Yeah.
I've never I've never once thought of just, like, abusing my dog into submission or something like
Right.
that.
Right.
But
Exactly. Right.
that's the picture in his mind when he's talking to you and telling you, "Oh, well, you need to calm down too, because otherwise you're going to abuse your dog." I mean, he considers putting your dog into a sitting position, he considers that abuse. So, how can I defend myself and say, "Oh, no, don't tell me she's laying down on the bed right now."
Oh,
Like,
caught. Kevin exposed.
dang
She's
it.
yes. Well, actually, she wanted to read the books. She's like, she wants to dig it. Yeah.
Oh,
Goose
I
wants to
see,
read. Goose wants
I
to read the
see.
books. Yeah. See, Goose already has some of this. She already has. She already
Uh-huh.
knows a little bit of that. But no, it sounded like she
No.
was about. It sounded like she was about to throw up. So I was like, oh, what's going on?
Oh,
But
no.
no, she's all right. She's fine.
She's
But
okay, okay, good.
um, uh, go, what was the last thing you said? You were talking about she
Yeah,
distracted me.
just
I'm sorry. You were talking
no, it's
about
okay. It's okay.
oh, him
Just
telling
that
you because
yeah.
you putting a dog into a down or that's a he considers
Yes,
that abuse.
that's abuse. That's
Okay.
abuse. Which and I told him my dog so I gave him as a puppy, I gave him hand signals for every command that I taught him. So, sit is just me holding my hand out like this.
Mm,
Down is me flipping my hand over. He is so quick to obey that now that all I don't even have to give him the hand signal. He can
yeah.
hear it or he can see me doing that and he'll know, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
down." So I don't have to even put a hand near
Right.
him to
Right.
tell him to do that. And it's not just because I asked him to do it or coerced him to do it with a treat, like the first couple of times I taught him how,
Yeah.
it doesn't equate to it now being abuse, in my opinion. I'm
Right.
not a dog psychologist, but
I'm not either. But
yeah,
no, and I would agree.
but it
Listen,
is.
and this is why. So, and this is one of the things I'm similar to Robert in, and this is also why I don't understand why he has such a hate boner for me because it's like I agree with him that there's issues with dog training in the sense but I compartmentalize it. I don't have this just innate hatred towards dog training. It has a place. What its place is not for is trying to we shouldn't try to train behavioral issues or
Yeah.
train relationship problems. Training is should be for building skills in a dog, right?
Mhm.
So if you want to teach your dog sit, stay, down, come, whatever, teach it scent work, how to perform specific tasks, skills, engage in sports. You're
Mhm.
training a service dog. Those are training. You're trained. What is the definition of training?
Mhm.
It is skill building,
Yeah.
right? And so that's where I think learning theory would be appropriate. But if my dog doesn't respect me and if there are issues, so I would even go so far as to say where like I don't consider a behavioral issue to me. Like a lot of people would consider aggression to be a behavioral issue or a defect. And I don't see it that way because if we
Mhm.
understand dogs are creatures of hierarchy and
Mhm.
aggression is a form of communication, well, we could see the aggression in a different way.
Yeah.
Where it becomes an issue is where it's the dog doesn't understand how to use aggression in a balanced way.
Yeah.
And so what we really have, we don't necessarily have behavioral issues. We have issues of say dogs being way too over empowered or they have way too high levels of testosterone or cortisol or all these other things. But what is the social root of that? Right? If
Mhm.
my dog doesn't respect me and I share space with this dog and a dog believes it owns everything
Mhm.
and it controls me, that's going to lead the dog to treat me a certain way. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't go about trying to apply training concepts to get my dog to listen because that's
Yeah,
not
or
the
to
root of the
stop that
problem.
behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I have to engage on a social level to create a different relationship dynamic. So I agree with Robert in that we shouldn't, training is not the solution because it's not the root of the problem.
Yeah.
But I think he goes way too far in that direction. But he also doesn't acknowledge the social component of it. And so, to me, to go so far as to even just say telling your dog to sit being like somehow abusive or you're a control freak or that I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. To me, it's not the solution, but it also is like, well, how is this really abusing your dog, right? It's not.
Yeah. Well, like
Um,
I do a downstay, for example, when I'm telling my dog, in our house we have a place for him to stay to calm down and kind of relax while
yeah,
we're eating dinner. And that downstay training has been extremely useful for things like that.
sure.
Or like,
Yeah,
yeah, or like having him when we're in public with him, like if we take him to a restaurant patio, having a downstay that works well is very useful. But it doesn't matter that he knows how to do that when he's having a reaction to another dog. Like
right.
his downstay doesn't matter
Doesn't mean
that much.
anything. No, it doesn't mean
So
anything at
yeah,
that point.
yeah, exactly. So that's why I think it's kind of ridiculous to qualify that as dog abuse just because I did have to use something valuable to him like a treat or a toy to teach him how to do that. Because at this stage, it's not abuse, it's just something for him that he enjoys and I enjoy. It doesn't hurt either of us. And
Yeah,
there's nothing
no,
really that he can gain anymore from doing a downstay. He doesn't get treats for it. He doesn't get toys for it. He just does it and he's fine with it. And I'm fine
right,
with it
Shane.
too.
Right,
That's
Shane. It
how,
was never abuse. It was never abuse.
yeah.
Exactly. Right. It's like, and even now, like, what did I just do? What, an hour ago? I shared some of my food with Goose. You reach a place where
So
none of that.
disappointed in
Yeah,
Kevin.
I know. I'm bribing her. I'm inducing her. How dare I? And she's on the bed sleeping. It's like, yeah, but we
You're
also,
forcing her to do that, right?
yes, I'm abusing the shit out of her by inducing her with little bits of food. Um, but the goal should always be to reach a place where you have a particular relationship with your dog where it's all built on respect and
Mhm.
you can share your food with your dog or you can let the dog on the couch or the furniture if you want, or
Yeah.
you can do what you want and it's not going to be, you're not going to fucking pop a vessel because how dare you give the dog a treat. It's like, yeah, I like sharing my food with my dog, who gives a fuck. But my dog doesn't bark at me for it, doesn't make demands. My dog doesn't try to dominate me for it. My dog doesn't try to eat it if I walk out the room. It's like, so
No.
what's the right, what's the problem,
And
you know?
yeah, and that's really good with like
Shane, goddamn, you're right, I'm a
I
Conrad
like how
most. uh
I like how you said you're like a
you're
Y-E-R. You're a Conrad most.
That's the reality. Okay,
That's the
okay,
reality.
okay, okay. Shane, okay. How dare you? You,
Mhm.
you know Conrad Most? Hey, how dare you blame the quadrants on Skinner? That's
Oh my gosh. You're a little bit too good at that. I don't know how you do those impressions. That's so
I don't know.
funny.
It's a gift. Maybe I've
It is
just
a gift.
watched way too many Robert Hynes videos. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, one or the other, one or the other. But you can also do it with Dale McCluskey really well too. So
Well, like I said, I'm still working on, but I can do. Yeah, thank you. It's Shane. You're not reconciling influence and control the way I describe. These trainers, part of a Ponzi scheme.
hmm
Shane's
speak
one
the
of them.
truth, man.
Shane's definitely Shane. You're part of a Ponzi scheme, man. You're out here promoting a lie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is really funny. Like, of
Yeah,
course, none of this is meant to make fun out of Robert Hynes. This is all I mean, I feel like you quoting him is actually a compliment, especially doing his particular accent. For me, it's just a term of endearment.
sure.
I think it's impressive. Yeah.
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 And
Is it
yeah,
mimicry is like the best form of flattery or
right,
something?
exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to
Yeah.
flatter you, Robert, and I don't have free will to do. I just, it's in my
Yeah.
unconscious
Also,
mind. I can't help it.
yeah,
It's
you're
part of
not
it's part of
choosing.
yeah, it's part of my id. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, the thing is, it's what was I going to say? Um, I had a thought and now I lost it. God damn it! I hate it when that happens. Well, anyway, while I'm recovering that, let's just
Mhm.
because I wanted to get your thoughts on the conversation you had with him. What did you walk away from that? Like, what did you think about that? What did you feel about it? What was your takeaway from all of that as far as how that
Yeah.
all went down and why? Maybe you could explain why did you want people to see that? Why did you want
Yeah.
to even have a copy of it yourself? Why did you, or like what were you thinking with that?
Well, so first of all, Robert had that day in particular, by that time he already knew that I had been talking with you and that I had subscribed to your YouTube channel. A couple of weeks before that, in like mid July, we had like our last ever consult call, and it was he told me that he wanted to post it to the Facebook group, and it actually was a Zoom call. So his face was on camera, both of ours were, and he told me that he was recording it and he was going to post it to the Facebook group. And I told him, okay, that's fine with me. Um, he didn't really ask. He just told me this is what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start posting these to the group. So do you want to come on camera for this consult call? Because I am posting
Yeah.
it. And I said, sure, that's fine with me. I don't care. So
Okay.
that never went on the Facebook group, and I honestly, the only person who could prove to me that he actually recorded that was Robert himself, because he also never sent any kind of confirmation of like, yes, I did record this. But that phone call, I would say, is even worse than the one he did post, only because I did not get to speak at all. I was just sitting there listening to him, and he cut me off every time. At least in the one that he knew that he was going to post for sure, he did let me get a couple words in edgewise. But yeah, if you have that recording, Robert, if you're watching this or if you're going to, I don't mind if you post it. I'm perfectly fine with that. If you even have it, if you recorded it. But um the reason that I wanted to do the final call with him is because he had been messaging me and commenting, like replying to me, um, for like 2 days in a row, but especially that particular day, like all morning. And I was at work. I was back and forth. I can't really check my phone while I've got a
Yeah.
dog on the grooming table.
Yeah.
So I just kept hearing notification after notification, and
Uh-oh.
I would like reply to some of them if I could, but I didn't have the time. So finally, later in the afternoon, I was just like, okay, we can do a call if you want, but I actually would like you to post it to the Facebook group. I would appreciate that because I want to know what other members of the group are thinking. Because I have
Mhm.
not seen one person, Kevin. I haven't seen one single person in my whole time of being on there that has ever posted um any sort of meaningful progress or like rehabilitation. And I know 3 months isn't the longest time in the world, but I've scrolled through. I scrolled back pretty far to see like, are there any success stories on here? I couldn't find one. I
Yes.
seriously couldn't. And that's only me. Maybe there are some on there. Who knows now, because the Facebook group is gone forever, but
Right.
I couldn't find a single success story. So my intention with him posting that call to the group was that other people could hear me asking those questions and maybe think, well, wait a second, that's kind of been happening with me too. I've been trying this stuff and maybe along the way they gave up, or they just never really saw any noticeable difference and they just kind of stopped thinking about it. Because for 5,000 plus members, and there are like maybe two member posts a day, and most of them are from new members saying, "Hi, I'm introducing myself."
Right.
Those aren't very good analytics. The rest of the posts are all from Robert and a couple of his admins. I won't say who they are because I've never really spoken to them in depth.
Sure.
But yeah, most of the posts are from Robert himself. And I'm wondering, he mentions on his YouTube shorts all the time that he'll say like, I've done 80 consults or 40 consults or 60 consults. Yeah. And I'm like, well, maybe you did, but were all 60 of those exactly like the one you did with me? Because my consult calls didn't go anywhere. So why does it matter how many you've done if they don't leave people with
Exactly.
results? Yeah.
See, this
So
is why I commented on because he likes to brag about it, and I said something along the lines of, do all the consults you want. It'll just mean more people will come my way because you fail them. So it's like, but he
well,
likes to brag and say, well, I've done all these consults. Oh, that's 44 more people that won't come to you, that won't be using dog training. I'm like, just because you had a consult with somebody doesn't mean you can't just have an hour long Zoom call with somebody and magically the problem. So it's like, how,
yeah.
what premise are you operating under that just because you spew this bullshit that you read in a book, that automatically people will hear you profess this magnificent truth, and all of a sudden all their problems go. It's like, it doesn't fucking work that way.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you're not
yeah.
you're not fooling anybody who does this professionally, who's
Mhm.
been through it so many times with people. You're not fooling people like me because we know how this goes. And so
Mhm.
this is why, everybody watching, this is why, listen, I'm always questioning these people that talk and talk and talk, but they won't show you anything. I'm proud of the work that I do, and I'm proud of my dog. I'm proud. I can't wait to share success stories with you guys. I can't wait to share video proof with you guys. I can't wait to post that stuff. So why is
Yeah.
all this stuff always under such tight lock and key? People say they'll post stuff and they don't, or people from his group will come and talk shit in the comments, but they'll be like, well, maybe someday I'll put. Well, then fuck you. Why are you even here if you're not going to prove without a shadow of a doubt that what you have
Mhm.
learned from, I don't care if it's Robert or anybody else,
Mhm.
that your dog is actually as good as you say it is, or he helped you as much as he says you did? And this
Yeah.
is why guys like Mark Dubose, I don't give a fuck what they say, because we never see the actual fucking proof of anything. These
Yeah.
guys love to flap their lip in front of a camera, but of course, these are the same guys that hide shit. They cut shit out of their videos. They don't want to show you nothing. Then it's like, why? That's all I'm asking. Why? Why don't you? Why is that? And then we hear stories like this, and then we get phone calls like this, which to me just kind of confirm stories I've heard, but also confirm my suspicions that it ain't all fucking butterflies, unicorns, and rainbows in this group like he wants to profess. So if there was, we should have so much goddamn proof to back up what he says, but we don't.
It sure is not. And a lot of the people that like joined around the same time as me, they would kind of introduce themselves and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, nice to meet you." And people would ask me, "Please post progress updates because we never get those. Please if you see results, please post them because we never see those people." And I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh, okay, sure. I'm happy to do that. I'd like to have a progress update to post, but I never did. I always just had more like posts that are like, well, what would you do in this scenario? And yeah, as I said earlier at the beginning of this live stream, Robert did see those videos that I was posting and he did comment on them. He just obviously doesn't remember because he saw them, his admins saw them, and a lot of the regular group members saw them. And that's where I got a lot of this advice from, is from the comment section of the videos that I posted. But I never had a single progress post to make. I just, because I wasn't seeing any progress. And so
Yeah.
when I requested that call would go out to the Facebook group, I did that only because he had been telling me that the calls were going to start being public. And he had even added like a poll on the Facebook group and said, do you want there to be a new Facebook group for consult calls only? Or do you want to leave them within this group so they're easier to access? And everybody voted and said they wanted them to stay within this group. And that was weeks ago, and he hadn't posted a single one. So I was like, okay, well,
He's got
maybe
all these Zoom calls though, right? All these consults, right?
yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, maybe you can do what you said you were going to do and maybe post this call to the group. And he said he would. And then in the screenshot I sent you, Kevin, which again, you're free to use that if you want to for a video or anything like that.
Okay. I just might.
He yeah. He told me, is it okay with you if I put it up on my YouTube? He asked me that. And I said yes. That was my only response. Yes. And he then said like a couple more things and I said, "Are you going to post it to the Facebook group?" And cuz he wanted me to make a post to the Facebook group asking people if they could share with me their stories of their results and things like that, of their success stories. And I said, Robert, I'm not going to do that again. The Facebook group is going down in a few weeks. Like, why will I do that? And so instead, I asked him, are you just going to post our call to the group? And he said, yes. And he said, I'll post it wherever you like to whatever platform. It's free. And it's both of us gave consent to having that call posted. Now, he's now accusing me of secretly
Oh, I'm cutting out again.
That you could have that like
You
oh,
cut out again there, Eden. You
did
were
I?
starting to say, yeah. I don't think it disrupted anything, but you lagged
Okay.
there. So you had said, what was the last sentence you were in the middle? You were saying you were talking about how he gave you he was gonna okay. You guys agreed to that he would put it on his face or his YouTube. You gave
Yeah.
consent for that, and then you were starting to say now he's turning around and saying like in his YouTube shorts recently. You were about to
Yeah.
say the narrative he's putting out now.
Yes. So now he's saying that me and my brother, that we infiltrated the Facebook group and that you had us or you had me call Robert that day and like as if I recorded the call secretly and then sent it to you. That's the narrative. So just to clear the air, my brother joined that Facebook group on a whim one night because he was wondering why I was being on Facebook so much lately, because I'm not really on social media that much. And I told him and I tried to explain it, but the whole situation is like kind of too complicated and bizarre to really explain. So instead I showed him Robert Hynes and I showed him the YouTube videos. And so my brother requested access to the Facebook and he allowed it.
Yeah, I saw
He
that
let my
message
brother
too.
in. Yeah, and so my brother left a joking comment or
Yeah, I
message,
saw
I
it.
can't remember.
It was obviously a joke, or he was just
Yes,
kind of talking shit a little bit. It's like,
it
come on.
was, yes, it was sarcastic. And we told Robert it was a joke, by the way. I told Robert it was just a sarcastic joke, but my brother said like it was me. I'm the secret mole. I was working behind your
Yeah,
back to do
yeah,
this. And then immediately after that said, okay, no, I'm just kidding. Nobody released this call except for you, Robert. So
right.
why are you upset? This had your consent. I have the screenshots of you giving consent, of you asking me if you could put it up on your YouTube channel. I'm not doing anything illegal. I didn't go behind your back, and I didn't post the phone call. You did. And you made it explicitly clear that you wanted to put it up on YouTube. And so my brother, just so anybody who cares to know, just so they know this, he didn't have anything to do with this. He joined the Facebook group like that evening, and he left a sarcastic comment. But yes, all the spy credit, like the undercover credit, you can give that credit to me, okay? Because
There you go.
I'm
There you
really
go.
I'm the
Everybody,
undercover spy here.
give it up for Svetlana. She's been well trained in
No,
the
I'm
arts
kidding.
of infiltration.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, and kind of what it tells me too is that he probably, even though he asked for consent to post it to his YouTube, he probably was just trying to use that as like a manipulation tactic.
Yeah, I
Because
don't think
why is
he.
he? Yeah, why is he so upset now that I have it and I post? Like, if you were gonna make it public anyway, what are you so upset about?
I
Um,
don't think he was really going to ever post it to his YouTube.
I don't think
I think he was using that as kind of like a threat,
yeah,
oh, you better not try to fight with me or try to disagree
right,
with me because I'm making this public. So you're going to be exposed for being uh, a Kevin subscriber. Like, okay, I don't care.
right, yeah,
I don't have anything to hide. Like this isn't like a top secret mission for me. I'm really just trying to find some good advice, and
right,
I'm also not trying to start a civil war. Like
right.
I saw that he got an email, or he posted an email that he got from Dale McCluskey of like, well, after this stunt, now I'm on your side again. So
I know, and I'm like, wait a
you
minute.
know what?
It,
I brought those two back together. So
there you
I'm like,
go.
I'm
Hey, we're
proud of what I
unifying
did.
people. Yay! Yeah, I'm like, because Dale did confirm that he did send the guys. Dale, that email was real. Dale made a video saying he did extend an olive branch to Robert Hynes, and I'm like, wait a minute. It took this to get you to actually just be friendly with somebody you don't agree with or you don't like. This is what it
I'm
takes for you
I'm
people to
just
actually like.
I'm just
I mean, how
happy
many?
bringing people together.
Yeah, we're bringing. Hey, and we see the photos of them lately. I think they're awfully comfortable with each
Yeah,
other
they are
anyway.
kind
But
of close.
I think now they're coming out a little bit. But
Yeah.
it's like wait a minute, the same guy who released your copyrighted books that you were selling, you're going to side with that guy for what? Why all of a sudden now are you going to try to make amends with the guy that's like your mortal enemy and that you've
Yeah.
talked so much shit about?
Hmm.
And really they're the same person, just on opposite ends of the spectrum anyway. But I'm just like, this is incredible that you would even. But what's funny is he made a whole bunch. He made like 55 videos about me in the last, I don't know, 3 days. And yeah,
Serious?
well, he took
Oh
most
my
of them
god.
down, but he had a whole series about the talk me and Pete Reefer did, and he had it titled. It said, "When dog trainers play ideological musical chairs." Well, he took those down so he
Oh,
could make because he probably didn't
make
want to look like
room
a
for the.
major hypocrite. Yeah, like, oh, these trainers are they're just moving from person to person, get on podcasts with each other, which is
Yeah.
what he says. But then you're going to extend an olive branch to Robert Hynes to do a podcast with you. So you don't want to look like a fucking hypocrite. That's why you
Yeah.
took that shit down. But again, I don't know why. Why is it such a problem for people who don't agree or have different philosophies for them to just have a discussion for the public? Why does this automatically mean we're like getting down on our knees and sucking each other off if we just do a podcast? I don't understand why. Why
Hmm.
can't you just be an adult and maybe have a discussion with somebody who sees things differently so people can watch and it gives them something to think about? Like, I don't,
Exactly.
it doesn't make any sense to me. Why does it take some shit like this for you people to get along? I don't understand it.
Well, if Robert, to this day, if Robert asked me to do what you've asked me to do here and like come on and answer some questions, I'm I don't have any ego in this
Right.
whatsoever.
You don't
If
have a
Robert
dog in the
wanted
fight.
to,
Yeah.
Yeah. If Robert wanted to interrogate me about like, well, did you really try what I told you? Like, did you actually do it right? Did you actually try the right way? If he wanted to do that, I'd be fine with that. That's kind of what he did on the phone call.
Yeah.
And I'd go on camera and I'd talk to him. I'm just a person with a dog and I needed some help. That's all. I'm teasing about like being a secret spy and stuff.
Right. But that's how
Obviously not.
ridiculous. That's how
But
ridiculous this
that's
gets.
what he thinks, though. He
Yeah.
actually thinks that I infiltrated this and that I
Yeah.
was out to get him the whole time, and telling me now that I've ruined future consult calls for anybody who would have gotten a free one, is that he can't do them now because he can't trust me. When he's the one who posted that call to the Facebook, and
Yeah.
I gave him consent, but I, he posted it. I didn't choose to. I just
Right.
asked him if he was going to, and he said yes. And then
Right.
he posted it and made it public. So why is that? Why is it now a crime, or it's like backstabbing or
Right.
sociopathic
Right.
for
Right.
you to take a reaction to that phone call? That doesn't make any sense. And
No. And again,
especially
yeah.
when his intention was to put it on his YouTube channel,
Right.
according to what he said. So why does it matter? I just,
Right.
yeah.
And guys, for those of you that are, because OT, what's up, man? I noticed you weren't in the first part. In the first part, and which is the first part of the discussion is up now, so you guys want to listen to it. But I said in the first part, if Robert was treating people with respect to begin with, like if he was behind the scenes treating clients the right way to begin with, then it wouldn't matter if a call got out to the public, because it wouldn't make him look bad to begin with. He would actually, it would probably make him look better if he was treating people the right way. So if the only person he's got to blame for any of it is himself, which most of the videos I've ever done on Robert, if you haven't noticed, I'm only using Robert's words against him most of the time. I do say things here and there, but these people are their own worst enemy. And so it's like you only have yourselves to blame if a call gets released that you made and you look like a jackass because you're treating people like shit. Well, that's your fucking fault. How about you maybe treat people a little better? People who are looking for help, treat your clients better, and you wouldn't have these sorts of fucking problems. How about that? Right?
Yeah, and he also said that I like part of my plan was that I worked him up. That's a term he used. That I got him all worked up. And I was like,
Wait a minute. Who
I
plays the victim card around? Am I playing it? Wait, I see a lot of whining and crying and victim. People playing victim over this. Really, it's interesting how that works. Yeah.
okay, but I don't know if anybody else will ever listen to that phone call. Like if you're interested, I would recommend hearing it because
Oh, it's
I
wild. I've listened to it like 10 times. It is
yeah,
wild. It is wild,
yeah,
guys. Please listen to the whole thing. It gets so bad at the end. It's
yeah.
fucking crazy.
I was at the end, I was like really done with it, and I was not even really trying to ask like I was still asking him questions, but I wasn't really trying to wait and see if he was going to say anything different because he
Yeah.
kept saying the same things over and over.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
was not rude to him.
No, you weren't.
I
In
was
fact,
not trying to entice him or make him
no,
angry. I was trying so hard to just hear
you
him out.
were incredibly
That's
patient.
trying.
Hey, guys, this is something I talk about in my lessons in leadership. Eden had actually exemplified some of the principles I talked about, where she was the calm, stable one. She was the one. Uh, you demonstrated more leadership in that conversation than he did, and this is the problem that I have with this. And then when these things come to light, rather than owning up to it and taking responsibility like a leader should, it's you're the problem, it's your fault, I'm the victim. How it's like, well, again, if you had any leadership skills about you and you operated like a grown adult, grown man, you wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't be treating people like this anyway, and there wouldn't be a fucking issue. So
Yeah.
it's not anyone's fault but your own. Can you also talk about how to, because this is something that stood out to me. You
Mhm.
mentioned, because you said it was almost impossible to even get him on a Zoom call to begin with, where it
Mhm.
took you a while to even talk to him. And yet he parades around like this person who's all about the dog owner. I'm here to help dog owners. I'm putting you dog trainers out. I'm putting the power back in the owner's hands. And that you're seeking his help, and yet you said it was like impossible to even get on the phone with him.
Yeah. So from the time that I joined the group until like middle of, well, no, until early July, I couldn't get him on the phone because he wasn't doing free consults then. I was still messaging him on occasion, but mostly he pointed everybody to his blogs and then he commented on their videos. So it's like, well, do I really need to have you on the phone if you're going to be responding to all these, and like all of your philosophy is in your blogs? So maybe I don't need to actually have a consult call with you, and he wasn't offering them. So
Yeah.
I didn't call him. I didn't ask for a call until like beginning of month 3. And
Okay.
at that point he called me like the first night that I asked if he was available. But it wasn't a Zoom call. It was just a regular audio call. It was like Fast and the Furious. I did not get a word in edgewise. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
I've
He
been
would
there.
ask me a question. Yeah. Yeah. He would ask me a question and I would start to answer, and I'm not the fastest speaker, but I I could answer it if you just let me finish my sentence, but he
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
And after the call was done, I was so confused. I was like, what in the world am I supposed to do with this information? And
Right.
so we just kept doing what I had read about in the blogs. Everything that wasn't working, we kept doing. I had it written down, but I think the one thing he told me on that first ever call was he did give me one piece of advice that I hadn't read in the blogs, and that was to change my dog's name. Because
Oh
my
yeah, I
dog,
remember you telling me this. Yeah.
he was associating his name with like all the abuse I had inflicted on him in the
Oh my
past.
God,
And
you
I was
bad
like,
person.
oh, okay. I was like,
Wow.
well, should I
Wow.
really change his name? Like, I feel so stupid because I genuinely thought about this stuff and I was like, wait, well, I don't know if that's gonna work. Maybe I shouldn't try that because I like his name. I don't want to change his name, but I also,
Yeah.
he doesn't like respond in any kind of negative way to his name.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. So that he told me that, and then also he did tell me on that first phone call. Again, he told me I needed to take CBD oil so that I could calm down and remain relaxed. And then from then it took another like 2 or 3 weeks to get him on the second call. The second call was again extremely fast. I was allowed to tell him like one thing that I had been trying that wasn't working. I was allowed to share that with him before he started speaking over me again. And that was also an audio call. It wasn't a video call. And he was very rude. And then he would always say, oh, sorry, like at the end of the call, sorry if I sounded rude. I have
I have
COPD.
COPD, right? Yeah.
Why are you cursing the name of dog trainers and like
Yeah.
calling me all these names and stuff? COPD doesn't really cause you to do that. That's
That's
not
exactly what
really,
he did after my debate with
yeah.
him. He
Uh-huh.
got so upset during the debate that right after the video that went on his channel, the comment he left was, "I'm sorry, I having COPD makes me sound angry and obnoxious." And then he made a post talking a bunch of shit about me, but he talking about how he had COPD, and I'm like, I cannot believe that you are trying to use a medical condition as a reason for why you act like a little bitch. It's incredible. Um, just own up to the fact that hey guys, this is a joke that really bothered Robert because I said it to him once and he didn't let it go for months. But I told him, I said, your pussy is tighter than the average woman's. I don't know why you get so upset over the, like, calm down. Like, you're way too emotional. And
Yeah.
so he really did not like that. And that's why I'm gonna, hey Robbie, I got a box of male maxi pads in the mail for you. You know, the bleeding I know is a little intense this week. But one
Yeah.
thing I wanted to say too, so because the very first debate that I ever had with him went very similar to that, where, and this is one reason, I think I explained this to you, where he says, "Oh, you're not going to run roughshod," and it's because the very first interaction I ever had with him, and this debate it never got to see the light of day because he claimed it had audio issues. But he said he it was supposed to be a debate, but he turned it into like a 4-hour lecture on Skinner. And
Okay.
I had to force my way into the conversation because he'll just run roughshod over it. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why now you saw that last debate I did with him, where I will, you got to get strong with him. You got to
Yeah.
interrupt him. You got to hold his feet to the fire. You got to be firm with him. Otherwise, he will just talk over you. He'll interrupt. He'll try to dominate the conversation. Interesting how he loves to try to dominate people, but no, you can't dominate the dog, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's why he gets so upset and says, "Oh, you're not going to run roughshod." No, what he's really saying is he hates the fact that I can interject. I can hold his feet to the fire. I don't allow him to dodge my questions, and
Yeah.
I don't act like a little bitch in the heat of the moment. And I'm actually going to handle you the way you should be handled. That's what he really doesn't like.
Yeah. And see, and that's the difference between you and I, because I did allow him to interject. I didn't hold his
That's
feet
okay.
to the fire for any
You're the
questions.
client looking for help. Like,
And yeah, because
again, it's
I'm
not your position to really even do that. You
right.
know?
Because I didn't have any kind of motive to debate
Yeah.
him
Right.
at all.
Right.
Yet that's a really good point that you made, because it wasn't my intention to debate him
Right.
whatsoever. But because I'm a regular person and I'm not looking to pick a fight with him, because of that, I just got rolled over and with everything he was saying, and he didn't really give me a chance to even get to understand, like, if his philosophy really worked, but I was somehow misunderstanding it. If
Right.
that was the case, I still don't know that, because he just talked so much trash and got so angry. And that
Yeah.
has nothing to do with COPD. That
That's to
that doesn't
do
have anything to do with his medical condition.
That's a Robert
This
problem. That is a, again, guys,
holy blaze.
that is a
Did you
lack of leadership problem. That is a lack
uh,
of masculinity problem. That is a lack of being a grown adult problem. You know.
yeah. Did
Yeah.
you see
So
this comment this holy blaze left right
no,
here?
what did
The
Holy say? What did
definition
he
of
say?
COPD. Can you see that?
I see chronically overly. What's the rest of it? Chronically overly.
Wait, can I? Oh, I don't know if you can see that. It's just really
No.
funny.
What does it
Like,
say? Chronically overly something dickhead. That's all.
yeah,
Chronically overly.
chronically overly pissed off dickhead is what he's
Yeah,
saying. He's like,
that's
the
right, Shane.
definition of
Hey,
COPD.
we're gonna diagnose Robert today, right? Because we're gonna play therapist and psychologist. So yes, the diagnosis we're gonna give Robert is he does have COPD. He's chronically overly pissed off dickhead. Yes, that is true.
That kind of
Yeah,
fits the medical definition, in my opinion. And I'm a student of learning for over, I'll just make up, like, how long I've been reading books. I'll make up a certain amount, and as long as I call myself a student of learning, then
exactly.
I have the authority to give that diagnosis.
Yeah,
So
guys. Yeah, right.
how long do you want it to be, Kevin? Like, how long have you been a student of learning? You can just think of any number.
well,
It doesn't
well,
matter.
I've read books on brain surgery for 30 years. So I am a brain surgeon.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
don't
Wow.
you dare ask me to show you videos of me doing brain surgery, you fucking bigot.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But me too. Me too. I'm
Right.
also a brain surgeon.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And I'm a nuclear biologist because, if I read Tesla's books on the electromagnetic universe, well, now I, like Tesla, could build what was that motor he made? What was it?
You should know this. You're a student of his for over 30 years. Why do you not know this, Kevin?
I've already failed. Man, I'm it's rough out here, you know?
It's not your choice, though. You forgot that because we don't have free will.
I think it was called an electromagnetic motor, where if you got, guys, if you don't know what the electromagnetic motor that Tesla invented, please look it up because, hey, guess what? 100 years ago, we could have, like, we never needed gasoline and oil to run cars. We could have, but
I've heard of that. I've heard of that now.
That's something, the powers that be buried a long time ago, because if the magnetic motor ever made it to the public consciousness, we would never need oil and gas to run cars or cities or anything. We can't do that. It makes too much money, you know.
It makes too much sense too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, to make exactly. Hey, isn't it interesting how the things that work tend to make sense, and the things that it's like, it's kind of the theme of this conversation, right? Yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange, you know. Guys, I'm sorry that I make too much sense. I'm sorry. I don't want to be like Robert Hynes and make no sense at all. It's just,
it's okay.
But that's reality. That's the psychology. Read a psychology book. Read a book. But anyway.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. You were saying so it was just describing your experience as far as actually getting him on a call, what that was like. So after that first call, what was it like then, where you were implementing things, nothing was working? Did you ever try to get him on another call, or was that where it became like impossible to get him on the phone, or how did that go?
I did. And it was always, the answer was always, I'm busy right now. I've got another client call coming up. I'm busy, because that's when I had finally started to really go a little harder with the questioning, because I was really confused and not seeing any results, and starting to think a lot more critically, even as compared to before, because I would still think critically about what I was about to do, and think critically about the advice I was taking, but I would always justify it because nothing else has worked. So either I'm unable to learn and I'm just doing literally everything wrong, or the information I've been given isn't fully accurate. And so that's when I started to be slightly more critical. And I think when he picked up on that, obviously I didn't argue with him. I didn't try to debate with him. It was all just questioning his way of doing things. And when he started to pick up on that, he would answer my messages and my phone calls less, and I could barely get him on. And so in between the first call and the very last call, for this whole span of time, there were only two calls. One of them was an audio. The other one, which was the only Zoom call we ever did, was 40 minutes, because it was the free version of Zoom, so we only went on there till it booted us off. He's still never posted that. I don't know where that is, if he even recorded it. He said he did, but I don't know if he did.
Do they ever give you, were any of the conversations that were recorded, did they ever send you a copy of them? Did they ever offer it? No? Okay.
No, he didn't. Even the one that he posted up on Facebook, he didn't send me, he didn't
right. Yeah, that's right. We had to find other ways to get into me. So y'all want to talk about ethics? To me, that is unethical. If you do a Zoom call with a client and you're recording it, well, you should send your client a copy of it, because what's the point of recording it if it's not going to benefit the client? Send it to your client, right?
I don't really think he ever wanted to post it. I think he knew how it sounded and how it looked, but he didn't have to post it. He wasn't forced to, but he didn't send me a copy, so I just had to save that to my phone. And but it was public on the Facebook page, and he asked me to wait for 24 hours to see to wait and see, because he knew people were going to put me in my place and like disagree with me and tell me why I was being so belligerent.
Right.
Nobody did. There were like a couple of people left comments saying this is kind of a frustrating call. Like nobody
Yeah,
was. It was just weird. Yeah.
I think I remember you told me that, but you also had mentioned like when he was talking about shutting down the group, you were surprised at how like really nobody said anything. In fact, didn't you say somebody actually left like a laughing emoji or something? Like, wasn't there something you were
Yeah.
expecting there to be kind of this response from people of um like why, hey, well, what happened, why are we shutting it down, or are upset that it's going away, but you're like nobody really said anything, it wasn't really.
Yeah, nobody said anything. And he also the Facebook group got taken down. He was going to shut it down, I think, because he knew that Facebook was kind of onto it. And I guess Facebook probably sent him a warning that this group will need to be terminated. But he told everyone it was going to be like a month and a half or so from now. And no one responded to it. Nobody said anything. Nobody like left likes or comments or anything. Like I think a couple of people, yeah, like you said, did leave like a laughing emoji or something, but it was like two people out of the 5,000 plus
5,000.
members. Yeah. I think a lot of people join and realize, wait, this is kind of crazy. And then they stop checking the group and they don't like remove themselves from the group.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I never thought of that either, right? It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
because there's almost no activity. There was almost no activity in the 3 months that I was there. You'd get, for a group of 5,000 plus members, you'd get maybe a post per day from a group member, most of them being brand new, and introducing themselves. And then the rest of the posts were all Robert and like a couple of his admins
Yeah.
too. But that was it. And there's not a lot of activity going on in that Facebook group. So
So, hey, Dale, I know you're watching. You want to talk about? It's all about appearances. Hey, oh, yeah, right. Hey, you want to talk about appearances, right? Yeah, I mean, that's the epitome of something that it's like a shiny piece of shit.
yeah.
Um, but now, so you said the response to the conversation that got posted. You were saying, so was that the general sentiment? Was people were saying like this is a rough listen, or this, did they have any, was there anything, any specific response that they gave, or was it how were people
So
feeling about it?
there were only a few comments, like by a few I mean like maybe 8
Okay.
total. And I think it had gotten, I don't know how many views it had gotten by the time the group got taken off, but when I checked it last, like 4 or 5 hours after it was posted, it had like 300 or so views and only
Okay.
8 comments.
Okay.
And so the comments were things like, well, yeah, he's being kind of rude and he's being pretty aggressive, but maybe you just, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Like that was it. They weren't they weren't dismissing his behavior. They were telling him like, this guy is being very rude, but maybe if you tried this, like they were still trying to offer me advice. And
This is
it
also
was,
what I don't understand about. Did you want to finish that? Were you gonna say
oh
something?
no, it's
No.
okay. That's all I was gonna
Um,
say. Yeah.
you know, Mr. The St. Cloud Strangler, Mr. McCluskey, his criticism of me posting the conversation, it's like, but I don't hear you criticizing the way Robert talked to you at all. It's like, why? It's like, Kevin's a piece of shit for posting it, but we're not going to say anything about how Robert behaved towards you. That's
Well,
okay. It's like
that's because
everybody just wants to be like, oh, it's okay for Robert to do, but why is this okay? You know?
well, it's because I enticed Robert to behave that way.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I
But wait
was
a minute.
goading him on. So.
If Robert doesn't have free will, like how could you entice him? If it's like, well, how
That's true.
could
That's true. I didn't think of it that way.
yeah,
Also, how did I choose to entice him
if you have no free will,
to goad him on? If I have no free
I
will, yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me. It's
Hmm.
like, the questions keep stacking up. You want to talk
Yeah.
about a circular conversation. But
Yeah.
so okay. I had another question. Where was I going with that? So the response to the conversation was people were still just trying to offer you suggestions that
Yeah.
it's like probably stuff you've already tried.
Yeah, it was all stuff I'd already tried, yeah. And
Okay.
there's one person in the group that I don't know him well, but he's a pretty nice individual. And he actually messaged me. So I got after people were like defending me to some degree, again, not that many people even commented, but what they did say was, wow, you things like I didn't realize he was gonna yell at you like that. I'm so sorry, or something like that. After that happened and it wasn't the response Robert expected, he banned me from the group. So there was like a period of 48 hours before the group got shut down where I was no longer in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this person that I'm somewhat acquainted with online, she told me that that a bunch of people started reporting the phone call to Facebook because they thought,
Really? Okay.
yeah, they thought that it was released without my
Oh,
consent.
without your consent. Yeah.
Yeah, they must have not heard the phone call because I'm in the phone call. I'm saying
Yeah.
like, well,
You
for anybody,
say. Yeah.
yeah,
You give consent in the phone call. Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of people were just like reading the comments and saying, like seeing that people were saying, why is he acting so rude? What's the matter? Why is he so angry at her?
Right.
And his caption to the video as well is like a just a barrage of angry things to say about me, just mean anecdotes. And so people were thinking that he released that call without my knowledge, which
Oh.
didn't
Oh,
happen, by
that's
the way.
right. I remember you
Yeah,
telling me that. Yeah.
I gave him permission to release the call. I knew it was going to be released, and I was okay with that happening, but other people, I guess, didn't know that. So they had started to report it in droves, I guess. Not that many people, but like a dozen people or so. And immediately after that, the group got taken down. So I don't know if that was like just having that many reports in such a short amount of time, maybe that's what did it.
Maybe. Maybe.
But again, that also wasn't my intention. I really
No.
did not mean for that to happen. But he was the one who wanted to record it in the first place and send it out to people, and
Yeah.
all I did was agree. I said I'm fine with it. If it can help somebody and they can learn from my mistakes, that's all I care about. So, yeah.
Right. And that's why I think live discussions of any kind, debates, whatever. I think these should be live public conversations for people to benefit from.
Mhm.
I mean, that's if the goal is to help people out here, then I think these conversations are best had for the public. It's especially conversations centered around things we don't agree with or things we don't agree on.
Mhm.
Um, if everybody just agrees with everybody all the time, how is anybody really going to learn anything? I don't know. It's I don't understand this way of thinking. Like if you argue or have an opposing view or what, it's like you're toxic or you're combative. Or it's like, yeah, but what? How are we going to suss out the truth for the benefit
Yeah.
of people if we don't engage in some kind of battle of ideas? It doesn't make
I
any sense.
know. I know. And there's got to be some version of humility involved
Right.
as well,
Right.
because it's not necessarily fair that I'm the one who's having the trouble. I'm the one who's reaching out for help, and I'm the one who's putting myself on the spot to explain to all these people all of my failures, that like all
Right.
my attempts and failures. And then Robert can just, yell at me and scream at me and get
Yeah.
angry and insult me and tell lies about me as well, as if
Right.
I was actually like secretly working for you behind the scenes, which didn't happen. I
No.
reached out to you for help because what Robert was telling me was making my dog worse.
Yeah.
That's it. So
that's
yeah.
unfortunately the truth. And listen, hey, I said this in the last video. I don't know why, and to me, this is very ego driven too. Like if I, as a professional, give somebody a protocol and it's not working,
Hmm.
but they find something that someone else says that does work. If the goal is to help people and their dogs, then who gives a fuck?
Hmm.
Why are we going to get upset if somebody went somewhere else and actually resolved the problem? Wouldn't that be something you could learn from, at least, where rather than shaming the person for going somewhere else, you could recognize, okay, where did I go wrong here? What did I fail on? And what actually worked for this person? Maybe I could take that to the next dog. I
Yeah.
don't understand why we're going to we're going to get mad at people for this
Hmm.
when it's a net benefit for everybody. It's something I can learn from. It's something, the problem was solved, which should be the goal, right? Just because you weren't the one that had the answer, who cares?
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand this mentality people have where we're so up our own asses about this, where you can't possibly be open-minded to something working that your client got from somebody else and you weren't the one to suggest it. It's like, okay, cool, hey, we got it done, you got it done,
Hmm.
and that's all
Yeah.
that's supposed to matter. I mean, that's our job, that's what we're here to do anyway, right?
Hmm.
Now if it happens to be a solution that maybe down the road it kind of falls apart, all right, cool, well, then we can revisit that, we can re-examine it, where did it go wrong, like, but that's a conversation for down the road.
Yeah.
But to just like belittle somebody because what you told them to do didn't work and they went somewhere else and they're actually seeing some modicum of success. Okay, well, maybe we should re-examine our own position on things if that's the case, and maybe there's something you're not aware of or you don't know, or it could be a variety of things, right? And maybe because I've had it even too with cases for me where I have suggested people do things that worked on, a group of other dogs, but just their dog specifically, their situation, something else worked that I wouldn't normally do, even though what I
Hmm.
told them to do worked on all these other dogs, but it just wasn't quite working for them.
Hmm.
And if they find something somebody else said and they're like, hey, Kevin, we were trying this, but it didn't quite do the job. But hey, I found this and this seems to be really helping. Cool, keep doing it. Do whatever works. If it works,
Yeah.
keep doing it. I don't care who the fuck said it. Just keep doing it. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think this is a big problem with this community is everybody is they want to have the magic bullet. They want to have the secret sauce. They want to sell books. They want to sell courses. They want to be, it's like, but they're the first one to call you egotistical. It's like, yeah, but you guys are the ones that get mad if somebody goes somewhere else and actually finds success. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's funny too that Robert would be so upset with me contacting you. One thing I forgot to mention is the one time that he did get on a Zoom call with me, before we started the call, he called me and I answered, and then he said, "Okay, first I just want to be point blank with you, and I want you to be honest with me, because if I'm honest with you, it's only fair if you're
I,
honest with me."
I
And I
remember
was
this.
like,
Yeah.
"Okay, what about?" And he said, "Are you colluding with Kevin Murdoch?" And I said, "Colluding? What do you mean by that?" And he said, "Did you reach out to him?" And that was before I had
Yeah.
not yet. But I said I subscribed to his YouTube channel because I wanted to hear what he had to say. And he was like, "Are you being honest with me? Are you?" And I said,
Oh my
"Yes."
God. What is he, your dad or
You
something?
know,
Like what the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know, but he was so like possessive over it. He was so worried that I had spoken to you, and it was before I had, and I was being honest with you, but again, to be completely honest, that's actually one of the reasons that I decided, you know what? I think I might reach out to Kevin, cuz I was like, what is the big deal about this?
Right.
It's like
Right. Yeah.
It's not my own will. It's not my free will.
Oh
But
yeah,
like
yeah. You have no free will over this. Yeah, yeah.
my
But
impulse
isn't
told
the
me,
irony
yeah.
of it though, right? The people that are so against, how dare you control the dog? You're a control freak. But they treat people the opposite. It's like, wait a minute. If this is all psychology, if it's all the same, then why are you are a hypocrite in that you profess to treat dogs this way, but you don't treat people that way. Why is it okay to try to control people, but oh, how dare you control the dog? What the fuck is why is everything so ass backwards in your head? I don't understand it.
Well, he asked me to promise that I wouldn't reach out to you. And I didn't. I said, okay, well, if I ever reach out to Kevin, I will let you know because I think you'll want to take me off of the Facebook group or like stop giving me advice altogether.
Yeah.
So if I ever decide to reach out to Kevin, I will let you know first. And I did. I actually told him right after I did our first consult call with you, I messaged Robert and I said, "Hey Robert, just wanted to let you know I ended up reaching out to Kevin and talking to him, and he gave me some advice on what I can do with my dog." And that's when he started making posts and stuff in the group that we have a mole here in the Facebook group.
Oh my god.
How am I a secret agent or a spy if I expose myself and I tell you that I'm going along with a different training plan? Like, just out of courtesy, I told him.
Right.
Not that he cared, because he had barely kept up with me at all. Like, he wouldn't answer the calls or the texts. He was always too busy. He always had too much going on. So, but he cares now. He's
Oh, I
obviously
know. Yeah.
very
I
offended
wanted you
now.
to bring that up too, but I was gonna say this is like it's like an abusive boyfriend situation. So or you have a boyfriend who doesn't give a shit about you until you start talking to, they find out you're talking to her, then you're like, then they start getting all possessive and shit. It's like,
Yeah.
seriously. But
Yeah,
the fact that you would even feel you would need to tell him that you're talking to somebody, it's like, are you a professional or like this is not professional? Like you cannot treat people like this. This is not we're all the adults here, first of all. But to make people, and by the way, this is the guy who claims to be an expert in psychology. You would think that someone who knows so much about psychology would know that if you try to suffocate people like this, you're just going to end up alienating them. You're going to push them away. You're going to have the opposite effect of what you really want to accomplish. But even really then, saying that is also kind of a manipulation tactic, because really the principle you should be operating from is just let people make their own decisions. They're grown human beings. They have their own free will. If somebody wants to go somewhere else, then let them. Who cares? Right?
Free will. The only part of that I disagree with is the free will part, but
oh yeah.
continue on.
I'm sorry. I'm a piece of shit.
No,
How
I'm just
dare I say
kidding.
that? I have no free will in being a piece of shit. But
I'm kidding.
but
No,
yeah,
but
no,
yeah,
I know. Yeah. But no,
yeah.
because that was something you had told me, was that it was interesting how you couldn't get him on the phone, but then all of a sudden he finds out you are talking to me, and then he starts like blowing up your phone and wants to get you on a phone call, and that's what led to the phone call we have.
And still, I somehow enticed that, like, which I can't even begin to understand how his logic allows him to believe that, because he didn't want to talk to me. He didn't want to follow up with me. I had stopped posting many videos or like updates or questions or anything a while back because I wasn't getting anywhere. So I was like, what's the point? And I had already gone back after he announced that the Facebook group was being shut down. That's when I decided, I was like, well, why even leave these posts up anyway? Nobody's looking at them. So I went back and I deleted the posts, not because I'm embarrassed of anything, just because no one gave me good advice, and I don't care if the group is getting shut down. I had made like maybe a dozen total. It wasn't a lot. But they were always posts just asking more questions. I never had like a good update to give.
Right.
So Yeah, but as soon as he knew I was talking to you, that's when he was like, "Okay, showtime. Now we're gonna talk. Now we'll
Right.
now
Yeah,
we'll
I
have
got
a
all the time in the world
conversation."
for you now.
Yeah,
It's like, come on.
yeah. And
Which actually,
I feel like
oh,
that's
go ahead.
a double
Go ahead.
standard, and he's
Yeah.
because, in my opinion, because you can Google this if you're listening to this right now. I won't explain all the different reasons to you, but Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung disagreed on some pretty major topics, and I feel like Robert, personally, I'm offended that he cheated on Carl Jung by
Oof.
reading Sigmund Freud.
Oof.
I can't excuse that.
Ouch. Oof.
I don't know why he was able to do that in good conscience. I don't understand. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Carl Jung would, because he was probably very possessive over his property too. So I would imagine maybe it's not something Robert's going to want to admit because
Yeah,
it's.
true, true.
But actually,
That's kind of a sticky situation.
this actually brings up something interesting because this is something as a professional that sometimes I struggle with, and actually, like I've had clients where, like Chase would be an example of this, where uh, and sometimes I don't even have even a little bit of follow up with some clients where we'll have a session, and
Hmm.
sometimes I reach out to them to give them their instructions, or well, in those cases I don't. It doesn't really bother me as much because those people strike me as individuals who weren't really dedicated to begin with. But there are
Hmm.
some clients where, say, I get their instructions to them, but then I follow up, and then I don't really hear. I never hear from them again. And
Hmm.
those are the people that I wish people would tell me if what I told them to do didn't work. Because then I'm
Yeah.
left kind of wondering, like, well, did I never hear from them again because I failed? Or like, was there something I told them to do that didn't work? I would want to know that
Hmm.
because that's also information and feedback I can take again to the next person. Where if I have people who can be direct with me and be honest and say, we tried this and it didn't work. Now, the flip side of that is the most successful clients that I've had are the ones that stay in constant communication and say, Kevin, this isn't working, and we troubleshoot. They
Yeah.
win. But the
Yeah.
people that just disappear, and I don't know if maybe what I told them to do didn't work, even if sometimes like in the session, things are going well. It's not going to be the same when the owner's with the dog one on one. Me being there is going to have a much different effect because of the way I interact with the dog. But them doing
Hmm.
things on their own, if we're struggling with something and I don't know it, then I'll never know if there was something I could have done better or if what I told them to do wasn't working. I would want to have that information,
Hmm.
And so those are sometimes always things you know, I, I think about and, um, because I internalize that as like a failure on my part. Like, what did I do wrong here? What could I have done better? Did I lead them in the wrong direction? And I'll never know. And
Hmm.
so if if I were Robert, I would be grateful that somebody would actually have the nuts to come back and tell me this wasn't working. Like what? But
Yeah.
you can't. People like Robert will never accept that, and so it's just like you know, to just flip it all around on the client and say it's all your fault.
Hmm.
And this is kind of the struggle with it too. Is like, yeah, in some respects, sometimes it is because, like you asked me in the call we did, where you had said, "Well, I've done these things before." And they worked to a degree, but this, and this, and that's where I say there are a lot of little details that sometimes, if they're not put together correctly, it's not going to work.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and so there are things where it's like I may be telling you the right thing, but the owner
But
may
I'm
not be doing it right,
wrong on
or
occasion.
or
Yeah.
yeah, and so we got to figure that out though.
Hmm.
So it's a bit of a tricky position for us to be in because it's like, yeah, to some degree, it's like the onus is always going to be on the owner anyway, but like I said earlier, it's my responsibility to lead you in the right direction, and if something
Hmm.
doesn't work, yeah, it's usually because the owner's not doing something right.
Hmm.
But even then, I still have to take as much responsibility as I can to work that out with you, to troubleshoot, to figure it out. Or maybe it is something that I know works, but is not going to work for you. So then we have to figure out a different solution,
Yeah.
right? And that was
Yeah.
like the issue with, say, Enso's owners, where you're talking about two older owners who, I mean, Carla had surgery on her leg. She had, I mean, she had troubles with mobility. She would admit that she had a hard time being assertive with the dog because all the emotions and the affection and all the way they see the dog gets in the way, and so I got to be able to work with that and work around those things. And so sometimes that can be difficult, but
Yeah.
um, but again, yeah, I would always want to know from the client, like, if I didn't do something right or if something wasn't working, that's. I want to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I really appreciate that about you because I've seen that in action because I've been able to send you videos and I in the videos I've told you like I know I'm not doing this completely right probably so just let me know what I can improve on and you've just sent me back information like okay just tweak this and it'll be easier but for the most part
Yeah,
yeah you're doing okay.
yeah,
That's all I really needed. That's it because I'm not like a total beginner to working with dogs, but
right.
there is an aspect of it that I absolutely don't know anything about, and that would definitely be assertiveness with my dog. I
And that's
really
okay.
need help with that. And yeah,
Yeah,
and that's okay because I can admit that I have that problem.
yeah,
So why can't Robert admit that maybe he has a problem in his ideal? I mean, and I
right.
think maybe that's also one of the reasons why it always came back to me not having fully given up dog training because if it was really if I had actually been trying his techniques and actually been doing what he said, it would have worked. So it couldn't have been that. It couldn't have
Oh
been that
no.
I was doing my best and I really was doing the things he told me to do. It
Yeah,
had to have been that the whole time I was a secret agent and
right, right. Yeah,
I had never given up dog training to begin
right.
with. That's
You're not
that's what
ready.
it was.
You're not. Aiden, you're not ready to accept the psychology. You're not ready to accept it. You're not ready.
Exactly.
That's just the reality. That's the
Exactly.
reality. Okay.
That is,
Okay.
that's a reality. Okay,
um. Yeah.
okay,
Okay. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Um. Oh, there was. I hate it. This has happened so much today already. Where I knew where I wanted to go next, and now I can't remember.
Oh, it's okay. I still maybe while you're thinking about it, I still have a couple things I didn't mention that
Oh,
he
go.
had
Yeah.
me
Yeah. Go
try.
ahead. Go ahead while I'm thinking about it.
Um,
Go ahead.
so I mentioned changing my dog's name, which I did not do. Um, let's see. Oh, okay. So this is one thing I told you in our messages, our text conversations, but one thing that Robert had suggested to me because my dog there are a lot of stray dogs around where we live now here in
Yeah.
Texas, and my
Mhm.
dog will sometimes see dogs out the window and be having a reaction. And
Oh yeah.
what
Yeah.
a reaction looks like is him barking and yelping and shaking. Um, and in the past, I've always had him like sit up on my bed or sit somewhere, and I would just like tell him, "Shh, that's enough." Like
Yeah.
try to be gentle with him and everything, but have him look at the trigger because I assumed like the more he's getting
Yeah.
used to it,
I remember you
yeah,
telling
the
me
more
about
he's
this.
exposed to it, the more it'll help him to realize it's not a threat. Well,
Yeah.
that's like a force-free method that I learned from a particular trainer, and it has never worked, but I also didn't really know another way. So I had asked for advice on that in one of the videos that I posted to the group, and Robert and another person in the group told me that what I needed to do was go up to the window and acknowledge that there was a dog outside so that my dog knew I also perceived the
Yeah.
threat. And I needed to stare out the window and bark like a dog at
What?
the dog
I don't.
out the
Okay, I
window.
don't. This I don't
Yeah.
remember. I don't think you
Did
told me
I
this.
not tell you that?
What? I don't think you told me this. You told me
I
something. You told me like you were told to take him outside and just like be there with him and pet him as he's like
that
fixating on the. Yeah.
too.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
that
don't
too.
know. You didn't tell me they told you to bark at the.
I'm not kidding. I'm genuinely. I mean, I wish I had. Maybe I'll go back. I'll see if I can find it because I may have taken a screenshot of that. But yes,
Shane's
that was some
laughing.
of the
Shane's
advice.
laughing his ass off. Shane's like, "Oh my god, he's laughing so hard."
Okay, that one I never tried. I swear to God, I never tried that. That one
Don't blame me. I don't
I'll give
blame you.
Robert that. Yeah, I'll give
Wow.
Robert that. I really didn't try as hard as I could have to
Oh my
bark
god.
at something. But yeah, so that my dog would know that I had his back and I also could perceive what he was perceiving, that I would bark like a dog outside at the threat.
Goose,
The other
you hear
thing,
this shit? You hear this shit? She's like, look at it. Look at this. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
she's like, what? What are you saying?
Yeah, she's like, you told her to do what?
Don't tell me you've never tried that with Goose, Kevin. Come on. Come
Well,
on. Be
I
honest
have
here.
no free will, so I can't control if I bark at her. Actually, well, I have I've been wanting it to be a surprise, but
Oh,
there is
come
something that
on, let us know.
there is something that I'm teaching Goose, and so I am barking. Like
Hmm.
when I play with her with balloons, I'm trying to
Yeah.
teach her to howl, and
Okay.
she is learning how to howl, but she can't quite do it consistently. And so
Okay.
I will bark at her. I'll make the sound that I want her to make.
Yeah.
So because I'm trying to get her to
Ah.
understand. So in
Yeah,
that
okay.
respect, yeah, I have done it, but not like.
So okay, so your methods are exposed now too.
Yeah,
Like I'm glad you're
hey
finally coming clean. I'm glad you're coming clean about this.
I'm Robert Hynes' clone. This is the truth. Uh,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
gosh.
change my
Yeah.
name to Bark Like a Dog, act
Yeah.
like a human, bark like a dog. But
Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, no, I thought I told you about that. Yeah,
no, I
that
don't
was one
remember
of his
that. Oh my
suggestions
God, Jesus
is
Christ!
to bark and so that my dog knew that I was really like there for him and I wasn't gonna leave him behind. Like I could perceive the same threat as him.
Holy
The
shit!
other one I guess that I did tell you was take him outside, let him look at the dog across the street and like
Yeah,
just pet him and stroke
yeah.
him and tell
Tell me
him
about that one. Yeah.
that, you know, yeah, whisper sweet nothings into his ear, tell
Oh
him
yeah.
everything's gonna be okay. But yeah, it never
But hey,
worked. But yeah,
Theoden,
that was one of the things. So
Theoden, Robert is always with you. Theoden, it'll be okay. Robert, Skinner, Skinner is everywhere. It's okay.
yeah, it's
Right?
okay.
Yeah. Dale is omnipresent. He is always watching. You know what I've noticed too?
Don't
If
worry,
Goose,
they'll keep you safe. They'll keep you
right.
safe.
I've noticed if Goose farts in a way that sounds like if it sounds like Dale, he'll make 48
Uh-huh.
videos. So even a fart in the wind that sounds like, he's like
Uh-huh.
his radar goes off and he's like, I got to make 15 videos right now. So it's
Can't
become
blame him though.
yeah.
I mean,
He's got
it's
no
not
free
his
will either.
fault.
Yeah, no free will. So it's like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, what was so we're down to what was the last thing then that
So, okay, let me see. Okay, this one. So I was supposed to stop using all commands whatsoever, like no more commands, nothing. I after changing his name, all that other stuff. But let's see. Okay, in order to make so the thing he talks about making yourself be a puzzle for your dog. Do you know what he means by that when he says that? Has he ever explained that to you?
no,
In
and
the
in fact I listened, I heard that in the conversation and I'm like, and these are one of these things too that I'm thinking, what you're making this so hard for you, like for you to understand.
Mhm.
No, I don't know what he means by that. What the
Yeah.
fuck does he mean by that?
What he means by that is that you need to make yourself be an object of like suspicion for your dog. so that your dog is more interested in you than anything else that it would be otherwise. And in order to make yourself a puzzle, a thing that he had me do like once a week, I needed to go for a 24-hour to 48-hour period of not saying anything to my dog, like not
That's where that factor. Okay.
yeah, not saying anything. The thing I had to do is I needed to, like, just at random intervals, at random times, I needed to go up and stare at my dog dead in the eyes and just stand there as still as a stiff as a board, and for a long period of time, not say anything. Like, you just stand there and stare at your dog and wait and see what your dog does. And just if your dog gets excited or like he starts coming up to play with you, just keep staring at him. Like, never break eye contact with him, and do that multiple times, or do that like once a week to
What
make
the hell
yourself
is
a
this?
puzzle to your
What is
dog.
this based on? What is this? Where are we getting this from? What science is this based on? This doesn't
I
sound like psychology to me.
tell you,
Oh, hey,
tell you.
is that learn fact? Is that learn facts 101?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It
A
is.
little birdie told me that Learn Facts 101 is actually Robert Hynes, an alternate account. So it may be Robert himself here as Learn Facts 101. So
Maybe so.
welcome,
So,
Mr. Hynes. We are taking immense joy in the information and the advice that you had given Miss Eden, and how absolutely fucking absurd that this shit is. It's like, well, you can say what you want, Learn Facts. We don't have any proof. I mean, you have no picture, no video. So really, whatever. You could say you're from planet fucking Timbuktu. It doesn't matter to me because we have no evidence of it. So it's like
yeah,
whatever. Okay,
yeah,
so that was the last thing, and again, none of the.
yeah.
Now, what was your initial feelings toward, like, when you started to do these things? What was like? Did immediately did you start to be like suspicious of it, or did it? What was your reaction to it as far as putting it into practice?
Yeah, yeah. So my first like week or so of trying this stuff, we had moved in between this time. So when I was doing these things for the first time, I wasn't seeing any noticeable difference. Like, his behavior wasn't getting worse, but it wasn't getting better. And I was just like, well, it's probably because we haven't tried this stuff long enough. Like, the
Yeah.
whole somatic reset thing, for me, it wasn't that difficult to like think of that as being a viable alternative to training, because I already took my dog out for a walk every day and exercised him until he was tired. We would play games together and stuff. And then when he came home, he would sleep for a long time. And where I lived before, I would also take him to the dog park to do like little training sessions outside the dog park. And so I kept doing that stuff. So that wasn't like difficult, but I did start to notice that, okay, even with me trying these things, it's not really making a difference. It's almost like I could be doing nothing and it would
Yeah.
be the same results. But
Right.
when I moved to Texas, is when, and we got into our new house, is when I started to notice, okay, his reactivity is getting worse, not better. And I don't have a dog park at my disposal anymore. I live very far outside of any town, and there are stray dogs all over the place here. And I worry that if his reactivity stayed at its current level, that he could end up injuring another stray dog, or he himself could get injured. And so that's when I really started to dig deep, and I was like, okay, I've got to try harder. I've got to be doing this wrong somehow, and I need to work harder on this stuff with Robert. And one thing he suggested, or again, he told me to do was to take Theoden out to a field and see if we could find some rabbits or some gophers and let him hunt and chase and kill the rabbits. Which, if you have a hunting dog, I don't have anything against hunting with your dog. That's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
But my dog's problem is that he has like a combination of reactivity from fear and probably some prey drive as well. I don't really need him to be out hunting and killing
No.
small animals. I feel like that's going to make it a lot worse. So I would go out and we would like look for rabbits. I let him chase them a couple times, but he chased them so hard and so far that it took like it took me almost an hour to get him back. And when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm never trying this again. We
Yeah.
were in the middle of nowhere, so thankfully, you know, we weren't near a busy road or other animals or anything. But he chased a rabbit so far into the woods that I couldn't see him anymore. And I was like, I knew I'd be able to call him back. He did come and find me, but he was exhausted. And I was like, okay, this is so stupid. I'm not trying this
Yeah.
again. So it was kind of like a process. It wasn't really just a overnight thing where I was like, none of this is working. It took me the entire time to trial and error. I would go through one thing after another and realize this is doing nothing. This is not helping.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
think
I
you said
covered
you said it was what, 3 months? About 3 months you were.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was 3 total months because I think I contacted you. I can't remember the exact date, but it had been from like April 20th or 21st up until like the last week of July that I had been doing all of this stuff. And his reactions were just getting worse. Like we were driving in the car one time. We brought the dogs with us, and there are it's kind of sad. There are like five five or six giant Great Pyrenees dogs that are just kind of stray. They live out in the middle of the country, and they're kind of beat up. They're kind of rough looking dogs, but they're very territorial and aggressive, and they chase us anytime they see us. So we have to be very careful. Um, and they bark at us. They've tried to bite our tires as we're driving past. And
Okay.
one day, yeah, it's bad. But one day we were driving and we had all three of my dogs with us in the vehicle, and those Pyrenees started chasing our vehicle, and Theoden had like the worst freak out he's ever had in the car. He was jumping from the front seat to the back, and he was like, it was terrible. We had to pull over, and I had to literally get back there and hold him still so that he would calm down. And after that, is when I fully committed, and I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. It doesn't matter if nothing else has worked for me. This is also not working. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if I'm the issue or I'm the problem. I've got to figure out a solution where it won't involve me as much, and I can step out of the way and let the training take over, whatever it takes. Um because yeah, I just have to find something that will prevent this from happening. We can't get into a car wreck
No.
because there are dogs chasing us and my dog
Right.
is freaking out. So
It's
that's when that was
unreasonable.
like the last straw. And like his reaction to, I've said this so many times, but he reacts to livestock the same way. And we have like uh feral goats that'll just run around freely, and free range cattle. All
Oh.
I had to watch out for it. So did it just do that
Yeah.
again?
Yeah. Can you
Is
hear
it
me?
okay? I can hear you. You're a little bit quieter, but I can hear you.
Okay. God
So
damn it. All right. As long as you can hear me. Can you guys still
I
hear
can hear
me?
you.
Hopefully. Can you all hear me? Okay, good. Good, good, good. Okay. Hey, learn facts. Say what you want, but until you people from the group start posting videos and showing proof, I don't give a shit. So it's like you could say you went to Mars and back. If you can't show me proof, it doesn't matter. And same for Robert. Hey, Robert's the same guy who said he was going to do live streams with Monty because Monty's so great, and yet he still has not done one. So I don't care about
Yeah.
these 4-minute videos where Monty's in a store. Who gives a fuck? You do a 2-hour live stream with Monty in public downtown or in a public place, uninterrupted, unedited, and let's see how it goes. That's what matters to me.
I would like
But
to
okay,
see that. I would like
yeah,
to see
yeah,
that.
I would like to see it too. And
Mhm.
there's no reason he can't do that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I remember what I was going to say earlier. So, I think the biggest, what are the biggest frustrations? So, because you've been to several people and had you got nowhere with multiple different approaches, courses. You've spent, a lot of money on these sorts of things. So, what are the biggest frustrations you've had in that experience of just buying this, it not working, buying this, it not working, but like, and you trying to reach out and get feedback or trying to reach out to get support and not getting it? Like, what is your frustration with this community as far as that experience, and what do you think could be done better? Like, what was the biggest headache as far
Yeah.
aside from things just not working, but just even say communicating with people or the lack of follow-up or support, or the like, what would you say
Mhm.
um is the
Yeah.
biggest issues you had?
Yeah. So, kind of exactly what you just said is the biggest difficulty for me was that there wasn't any kind of personalized plan and no real follow up. And that's with dog training, with
Mhm.
like your basic average kind of obedience and trick training stuff,
Yeah.
and things like you would reach out to them for help. They would put you on a wait list. I was on a wait list for 3 months at one point, and just waiting to
Jesus
get into the
Christ.
classes. And by the time I got in, it was just you know who I'm talking about, Kevin, because I've
Yeah.
told you his name. I won't
Yeah. Yeah.
mention it here, but
Yeah.
by the
We
time
want
I got in, the exclusive classes that I was waiting to learn from were just all of the guys' YouTube videos that were already on YouTube that I'd been watching for 3 months before I could get in.
Wasn't that
And
like
I just
so? I thought that was like an online seminar, so it wasn't even a seminar or anything. It was just more videos of.
no. It had YouTube videos, but then he also had time slots where you could enter in and you could watch him live. And it was him in a room with a whiteboard, writing things on the whiteboard, explaining the exact same method and theory that he had just posted a video about. So it was like a
And that,
huge waste of money. I was
and
so
that, yeah.
disappointed in that.
Well,
Um,
fortunately, he was the one that refunded your money,
Yes.
right? He just
He
okay, and
refunded
that,
me, and
yeah,
I'm thankful that he did because that was nice
yeah,
of him. And then a force-free lady that I had tried, she refunded me my money as well when I told her it wasn't working. So that was very nice of her, and I don't really have anything to say about them as far as like exposing who they are, because eventually either they're going to keep gaining popularity and their YouTube channels will get huge, and more people will see that this is good for some, but it's not really a fix all like they
yeah,
claim it is. And so for me there's no point in mentioning their names. The only reason I mention Robert's name and my frustrations with him is because now he turned it into like, or he wanted it to be a civil war, which
right,
I'm not interested in involving myself in. But yeah, I would say those were the biggest issues with that, and then probably the oversaturation of how much training information is online. Like
yeah,
you could go to 10 different people who have 10 different opinions that are all just slight variations of each other.
It's
And
right.
you're like,
It's very
yeah,
cookie cutter,
it
and
is.
that's It's like you
Yeah.
get the same bullshit everywhere you go. But then
Mhm.
also, since you have these opposing communities, it's like you have this group. It's all cookie cutter shit from channel to channel to channel, and then you go on the opposite end, and it's cookie cutter shit, but it's the opposite information from what these people are telling you.
Yeah.
So it's like you get all these conflicting messages, and that but depending on which community you're looking through, it's like it's almost like a slop factory of just it's the
It
same
is.
shit the last guy said. But
It is. Yeah.
and I
And
just
it's
it's yeah, oh, go ahead. It's just it's frustrating.
it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's very frustrating, and I think that's probably the most frustrating thing is that I the thing Robert was accusing me of was not doing everything correctly according to his standard, which I
Mhm.
knew. I knew I wasn't doing it exactly the way Robert would do it. But that therein lies the problem. I'm not you, Kevin. I can't do the training exactly, or
Right.
not the training, but like the work with my
Yeah,
dog exactly the way that you would do it because
exactly.
I'm a different person. It has to be able to be applicable per person and
Yeah,
per dog because my dog is not the same as other dogs that Robert may have handled in the past or that you may have handled.
right.
He's got some similar issues, I'm sure, but he's not exactly the same. And so for me, it was the problem of not being able to go back and ask for like follow-up advice,
Right.
or figure out like how can I tweak this to fit my ability and my dog's ability. There was none of that, whether it was going to the force free side or the balanced side. There was
Yeah.
none of that. And I've tried both, and I've tried at this point I think 5 different or maybe 4 different dog trainers, like 2 from force free, 2 from balanced, and then um, I could count Robert as one, not dog training, but like a just a totally different ideology and method of
Yeah.
doing things. So
Yeah.
I'd say
And
5 in
that's
total.
the key word too, ideology. And that
Mhm.
was the thing at the beginning of the conversation that it always sticks out to me too, because what does he say at the beginning of the conversation? Well, that's radical behaviorism. It's like, so really what you're saying is this is the ideology. This is radical
Mhm.
behaviorism. Okay. So anything that doesn't fall in line with radical behaviorism is unacceptable. It's You reject it. It
Yeah.
doesn't align with my ideology. Therefore, we won't entertain it. We won't explore it. We won't. It's not part of the conversation. And
Yeah.
if, like I said to you in the message this morning, if these are the same people talking about science, rooted in their philosophy is rooted in the science, well, science doesn't work that way.
Mhm.
Science is supposed to be objective. There's not supposed to be bias in science. There's not supposed to be ideology in science. Science is
Mhm.
simply, you have a hypothesis, you perform tests to validate or invalidate that hypothesis, and everything is centered on the evidence. So
Mhm.
we need to be as objective as possible and just see the world for what it is and stop putting our bullshit onto it. Just stop trying to um, make everything fit within our ideology or not. And it's like we gotta, and this is why I say that what he says is like a cult, is because it's radical behaviorism. Well, how about we just be objective and look at the world for what it is, right? Put down the
Mhm.
books. Let's just live in reality for a moment. And this is why I say, just study the dog, watch the dog, learn from the dog. If we're trying to understand the dog, why would we do anything else but study the dog? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. Fuck radical behaviorism, fuck behaviorism, fuck all of it. Let's just understand the animal.
Yeah.
And I told you in the message this morning too. My one of my newer clients is a professor, professor at a local college. He teaches
Mhm.
philosophy, And I even asked him just as a curiosity, "Hey, what you got any books on or by Skinner? What do you think of Skinner?" He laughed, and I asked him what he thought of him, and he's like, "Skinner hasn't been relevant for God knows." He's like, and I asked him who like why did he chuckle at the thought of even talking about Skinner? And he's like, "Oh, there's so many people that have like torn his shit apart, debunked him,
Yeah.
or we've evolved past that. Like Skinner's not."
Yeah.
It's not important anymore. And
Mhm.
so, but anytime you bring up guys like Noam Chomsky to Robert E. Lewis, it's no, we can't talk about that
Mhm.
because it may invalidate everything that I say. And it's like,
Yeah.
what? But again, this is
Yeah.
not how science works. So you
Mhm.
can't sit here and profess it's based in science, but science absolute does not make proclamations of absolute truth about the world. Science is here to just simply observe, understand, and gain
And
information about the world.
describe to
Yeah, yeah,
describe the
yeah.
world. Yeah.
Right. It's not.
Mhm.
It's not supposed to make any declarations one way or the other because
Mhm.
what we understand about the world scientifically could change tomorrow. So science is not here to say this is an absolute thing.
Mhm.
Science is a methodology we use to understand the world.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's And so to go out of your way to call yourself a radical behaviorist, and that my philosophy is radical behaviorism. Well, okay, well now you're talking about ideology, and that this is like a cult. It's
Yeah.
like Shane said earlier, where if what did you say, Shane? I was talking about something, and you said it's something along the lines of like, what did it say? What did you say, Shane? You said something along the lines of like, basically, if you don't agree with me, what did it say? Basically, booting you out of the group
Oh,
because
yeah, I saw
the,
that comment.
yeah, it's basically like if this isn't a cult, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
To treat you this way simply because you questioned or were telling him that this isn't working, or it's like now you're the pariah just because you were
Yeah.
honest. And this is where, and the force free people are no different. To me, that's it's an ideology rooted in emotions and people wanting to see the world a certain way, people so badly wanting to believe the world is a certain way,
Mhm.
and yet the dog doesn't see it the way you want things to be. So until we can strip all that bullshit away, and until we can put down the books and put down and stop buying into ideology and stop letting ideology shape the way we see the world,
Mhm.
we're never going to get anywhere with this animal. And we're going to
Yeah.
continue to overcomplicate things unnecessarily. We're going to continue to lead people in directions that only make things worse because we refuse to just put all of our personal shit aside and just try to understand how this animal operates.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like I try to make everything as simple as possible for people to understand.
Mhm.
The more you complicate things, the harder it's going to be for any owner to be able to implement things or to resolve problems or to understand what's really going on here. And like I said before, dogs are not, and I think in the last video, dogs are not overly complicated creatures. They're not
Mhm.
that complicated. Some problems they have can be a bit complicated, especially when you're discussing socialization or the different nuances of social interactions they have. That stuff can take some time to learn those things or to be able to read things the right way. But the dog
Mhm.
itself it's not an overly complicated creature.
Yeah.
There's not, but for some reason, we as humans, we love to just overcomplicate things and make up our own shit because we want to sell books and
Yeah.
we want to prop ourselves up, be like, well, I have this deep understanding of things, and I have, look, we use all these fancy words and we make
Mhm.
up our own language, and it's just stop it. Please
Yeah.
stop it.
Yeah.
We're not helping anybody.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I totally agree, and that was one of the most frustrating parts for me was that each person, it wasn't like they were saying, "Yeah, I learned from the methods of so and so, and then I decided to like add my own little flair to it. No, it was like, well, so and so had most things right, but what he did wrong was detrimental, and that's why you shouldn't subscribe to him or listen to him at all anymore ever again. And that's what Robert was like. It's like if I told him that I subscribed to your YouTube channel and contacted you, I was now a double agent and I was getting banned from the group. That's all it took. It was that simple. I didn't even say I agreed with you or that I had taken any of your advice yet, because I hadn't at that point. But that was enough to get me. Oh.
Uh-oh. Can you still hear me?
Let's see. I can't see you on my end.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh,
Okay,
there you
good,
are.
good, good.
I see you.
Can you guys still hear me? I hate it when it does that. We'll end it soon here, but
Yeah. I don't know
so
if
to
that's
that,
mine or yours. I'm sorry about
I
that.
I have no idea. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I kind of have a
Um,
bad signal out here, though, so it
it's
might be
good.
me.
Okay, good. They can hear us. Did you say when you said that last statement there, were you saying there was somebody before Robert that did that to you too? That said, "Oh, don't subscribe to him," or was there somebody else that was saying that to
I
you as well? One of
I
the other
don't
professionals, or
I don't think so, except for one of the let's see, one of the people that I had contacted um for advice told me that it was like one employee for a larger
oh, okay,
company.
I
He
got you.
he was the one who told me that I couldn't use any of the tools that were
Oh,
made by like this other YouTube dog trainer
oh,
company, cuz I told him that I had some of those and I was like, "Is this the same thing? Cuz could this not work equally as well?" And he was like, "Oh, no, 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 we don't follow his methods. You
of
can't keep
course,
using that
of
tool."
course.
Because it was like a slip lead or something like that. Or I had bought a specific prong collar. That's what it was. Because the ones you buy at like the pet store, they all the prongs go in the same direction, so it can really hurt the dog and just put pressure on one side.
Yeah,
And the prong collar that they had me buy was a special one where it puts pressure around the entire neck, and another slip lead that I bought from that same company. It was like an extra thick braided slip lead. And I told the guy that I had those already, and he was like, "Well, what brand are they?" And I told him they're from this YouTube channel, his store on Amazon. And he was like, "Oh, mm-mm, no." And yeah, Hermspringer prong is the only good
yeah.
prong. I will stand by that. Yeah, the Hermspringer is the one I
Yeah,
have
I
with
agree
you.
with that, Shane. And that's not because I do agree that there are better quality tools or better tools that are made that have better functionality.
Yeah,
But when I hear that, it sounds like they're just trying to just get you to buy their version of it, or
that's what
it's
I
like,
think too. Yeah.
like if you said I have a.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you still there?
Okay, I see you again. Now I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
What is going on?
Sorry,
Can you
Kevin.
guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I still can't hear you.
Damn it! Uh, bullshit. Can you can can the chat hear me?
Video good, audio low. Kevin puts in silence.
God damn it! Super low. Eden, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you a tiny bit now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We'll end it here soon then, since we're
Okay.
fucked. But yeah, no. If you had a Hermspringer prong collar and you called them and they still pulled that shit, I'd be like, yeah, it sounds like you're just trying to get me to buy your prong collar. It's not like this isn't about having a good quality tool. It's about buying my tool.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's no, I don't remember where I was. I was going somewhere with that too, but Yeah, and this to me is the problem where if we're putting saying say upselling clients and making money over just helping them and their dog, then I think that this is another problem with this industry is people want to convince the public that, well, you gotta give me your dog for 3 weeks so I can do a board and train so I can charge you $4,000. Like, yeah, but what if they don't that they don't need that? Why? And so can we stop trying to convince people to do these ridiculous things that cost a lot of money when a lot of times it's not even going to solve the problem anyway?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's the same with the books and the courses and all that shit.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Yeah,
Eden, I'll let you. Yeah,
that's what
you
I
go.
dealt with all the
Yeah.
time was I would purchase stuff or I would use certain tools and it just never ended up working correctly and I would have to buy more stuff. So on top of what I was already paying, it was that much more expensive because I'd have to buy new tools for each different trainer that I tried. So, yeah.
Did they ever tell you with the tools? Did they ever tell you that we're going to use this tool as a temporary measure, but I'm going to show you how to influence your dog to get the tool to remove the tool for good? Did they ever say anything like that?
No, they never said anything like that. In fact, the tools were used as more of like a this will be a permanent fix
Yeah.
where you will never have to deal with this behavior issue again as long as you teach like this command with this tool essentially.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Of
was
course.
never like that.
Of course. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
um, well, I think the last thing I'll say before we wrap it up is I think one of the other issues we have is people they look for human mentors as far as and this goes back to everything being very cookie cutter is everybody thinks, well, I got to find a good mentor, another human to teach me how to work with a dog. But the problem is that every human you learn from is going to apply learning theory. They're going to use human made concepts that we've put onto a dog. You're not going to find many people, and this is why I love guys like Caesar and Brandon Fouché, is because their philosophy uh, it revolves around understanding the dog. They
Yeah.
don't they're not trying to teach you methodologies or teach you or their mentors weren't other people. They wanted to understand the animal, and everything they teach revolves around how does this animal operate in the real world, the psychology of the animal. And so that's where if more people went about learning how to work with dogs that way as opposed to, well, this mentor I had, this guy, he taught me learning theory and he taught me this method and he taught me how to use these tools. Like I think we're doing more harm than good um, by if we keep perpetuating these cycles.
Mhm.
It's just out of control at this point. It's
Yeah.
this community. I mean, but the trend is the same in a lot of communities online. You see the same trends in say the fitness community or um, there was another community I had in mind, but the nutritional advice. You see all the same shit. Like you have these competing ideology like in the fitness world, right? What do we have, or not even fitness, that with diet you have carnivore versus vegan, or in the
Yeah.
fitness you have the natties versus the steroid users, or you have
Mhm.
all these people with these conflicting workout advice, fitness advice. All these communities have the same problems.
Mhm.
And this is why when I talk about how guys like Dale, they want to go on and on about the controversies. Oh, Murdoch doesn't want to talk about the controversy. Yeah, the reason I say that is because there will always be controversy.
Mhm.
Uh, People are always going to cause controversy because there will always be a group of people who get upset at the littlest shit and are going to make a lot of noise about nothing. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what community it is. There's going to be controversy everywhere. It will never end. So
Yeah.
why talk about all these controversies? What, like, for instance, the force free people. There was all that controversy about the dog daddy. Well,
Yeah.
there's always going to be people who who are going to get butthurt and mad and upset over what somebody else is doing. But it's because they have a different ideology. There's always going to be that. So why waste time talking about the same shit when we can just teach people how to understand the animal? Wouldn't that be more beneficial?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I've experienced that firsthand of just when I would go from trainer to trainer and they would tell me basically to demonize the last person that I had gone to, just because their methods didn't work. And somebody asked, I don't know who this is, but someone said, crazy question, are trainers pushing relationship and quality of that relationship between owner and the dog? And to answer that question, I'm sure there are some trainers that are pushing that and like the quality of the relationship, but the ones that I went to were not. It didn't have anything to do with the relationship with your dog. It was always just that, oh, well, your dog hasn't had enough structure. And your dog hasn't had enough time walking on a leash, or using the prong collar, any number of those things. And for me, more structure was helpful. It did lessen the reactivity, but it didn't resolve it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the force-free stuff, I truthfully feel like worsened the reactivity.
Yeah.
Not that I need to. I hope I don't have to go about my life for the rest of my life using some form of discipline on my dog. I don't want that to be the case.
Right.
But I want to get to a point where he realizes that there is not a good consequence for doing something harmful to himself or to another dog.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and that's
Oh, I can hear you now, Kevin.
okay.
A little better.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you from further
good.
back now.
Goddamn. Okay, yeah. So this is the problem when we don't look at things holistically, because structure is important, but structure without the other building blocks is not really going to help you. And so if we do things right, you build that a particular relationship dynamic, then over time you should see things diminish. The goal is to get to a place where you can take your dog out into the world and these problems become less and less and less and less until you don't even have to worry about them anymore. And so it's not going to be this never ending thing you have to constantly deal with, which is why I disagree with all the, well, you just got to manage it for the rest of it. So, well, if we're managing it the rest of his life, we're never actually resolving anything. Now, Shane, I would disagree. I wouldn't say reactivity never goes away. I think it depends on the root. It depends on the root cause of it. I think, I think it's very situational. Like I've worked with dogs who, like Petunia, for instance. She doesn't have any reactivity anymore. So I think it just depends on the case. But if you can get it to a point where you could take your dog out into the world and maybe your dog sees something, there's not this huge goddamn explosion or reaction or it's this disruption where the most you would have to do is just maybe like snap your finger to get the Odin to be like to disengage. Cool. But I agree, you shouldn't have to constantly, day after day, be like you said, disciplining him to get him to understand. The goal you should reach a place where he understands the expectations outside, so you don't have to say anything to him anymore. I want to reach a place, and I've had this with my dogs, where I can take them out, take them off leash, and I don't even have to say anything to them. They just follow me around. And there may be moments where I have to snap my finger or assert myself or whatever, but it's never a big deal. Maybe Goose is walking over, she's about to go into the weeds, and I have to be like, tell her to stop because she's about to go in the weeds. Okay, big fucking deal. So what? But I don't have to worry about her reacting to stuff or dogs passing and barking at her and her charging them. I don't have to worry about any of that. Yeah. I would say that would be a long-term goal, though. Like you said, over time, we should see things diminish, get less and less and less until it's just not even really a thing anymore. Now, Hans, yeah, I know who Lyle McDonald is, Hans. I can't read your complete comment here. You and somebody are like the Lyle McDonald. Yeah, I like Lyle McDonald, actually. Um, what did you say here, Shane? I guess to revise non-fear. Can you read that for me, Eden? Shane's comment. I guess to revise non-fear. Is that base?
Okay, I guess to revise non-fear-based reactivity never goes away, but it should get to a point where it's more or less a non-issue, but the feeling, in quotations, will always exist.
Okay.
What they choose to do with the feeling is what we change. So yeah, I agree with that to some degree. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
This is why I say I think the root of the issue it makes a difference. Like if your dog has just a natural fear towards something, then I agree with Shane. Yeah, the goal would be like the dog still may feel that way towards something, but the reaction is much less, and it's not
Yeah.
going to be that big of a deal. Like I'll never get Goose to be okay with the car, right? But I can get her in the car. She does fine in the car. It doesn't disrupt our lives. I'll never get her to be okay with being in the car. It just is what it is, right? Who cares? But it doesn't cause a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, but when it comes to issues that are rooted in an improper power dynamic, or our roles being reversed, or we have an imbalance in the relationship, usually in most cases, at least in my experience, if we just flip that and align things the right way and get the dog to see us correctly, then those things tend to just like they over time they just go away. And this is not to say like when I take Goose out, you'll see her look at stuff. She'll kind of she fixates on things, but she doesn't do anything with it. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
She's not gonna go to that next level where she'll start barking at stuff. She'll charge stuff. She doesn't do that. I let her just kind of look at it, and if we need to keep moving, I can snap my finger and we keep moving, and that's
Yeah.
all it really needs to be.
Yeah. And that's the point that I would like to get to with Theoden, because I know he's never going to be like a completely submissive, calm, like never wanting to play or chase anything. I know that that's not realistic. But what I want him to have is the opportunity to look at something that he was formerly afraid of, or just aggressive to, and recognize that he doesn't have to do anything. He can just walk on past that trigger.
Exactly.
And even get to the place where he can meet dogs and not feel like every dog is a threat to him. Because right now, I think that's how he feels, because the only interactions he's ever had with like male dogs especially have been him getting attacked. And so, what else is he supposed
What
to
else
feel?
is he supposed to? Right. How is he?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
totally normal.
that's a case where I would say that is necessarily not free will. I don't think that's his free will. That's definitely his animal instinct reacting. So, and to answer your question, yes, he is intact, and that's one thing a lot of people have told me that his reactivity could be worsened by neutering him, which is the only reason I haven't, because I'm not an absolutist. I don't care about leaving a dog intact as long as they're fully grown. I'm fine with neutering. I just worry because people have told me it can cause the dog, if they are reactive, when you get them neutered, it can cause them to like become even more imbalanced. And reactive. But I don't know how true that is. I don't know. So
I've already told you my position on it. Like on our Zoom call. But I think what a lot of people leave out is if the reactivity is rooted in something else, because it can go either way. Like I told you, it to me, a lot of people seem to believe that neutering a dog will just make them less aggressive, make them less whatever, but
Yeah.
I've heard people say it helped a little bit. I've had a lot of people say it didn't do anything. But I've heard of people saying it made their dog worse, but I've
You've
never
never
met
seen
anybody.
that though.
But I look at these issues from a different perspective, where if we are doing the right things to resolve the issue anyway, then neutering really shouldn't matter, because if the root cause of the reactivity is something else, then neutering really
Yeah.
shouldn't make it worse, right? Because the issue is right, what's happening socially, what is the relationship dynamic. Theoden's been attacked more than one. I mean, there's so many other variables where neutering is like, since his the cause of it is something completely unrelated, I don't think neutering him would really make. I don't think it would make it worse. It may not improve it. It might. I don't know. It's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an absolute answer. Um,
Yeah, and I have no problem getting him neutered. I've wanted to actually because I some of these stray dogs around here, I don't know whether they're male or female because their hair is so long, and I wouldn't want him to get out and get another dog pregnant. Obviously, he doesn't really have a chance to. But the only reason I've put it off is because I've had a couple of vets tell me that like if he is reactive and aggressive and it's coming from a place of fear, that it can make that worse if you take away the testosterone. And I know there are other options too, like they do vasectomies on male dogs too.
and I've met a couple people that have done it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
my 2 cents, because I say listen, it's a personal decision. What if you don't neuter a male dog, what you'll have to contend with is like what Hans said. When he's around females that are in heat, you're gonna have to deal with
yeah,
that drive, and that can be frustrating. But if you decide to neuter him, I personally, I wouldn't worry about it making it worse, because, like I said, you're doing other things to rebuild this relationship you have with him, and you're taking other measures to resolve the problem that have nothing to do with, even though his issue is rooted in, say, fearing what may happen when a dog shows up. I don't think that fear necessarily is directly tied to anything that would be affected by a castration, or him
yeah,
fixing him or anything like that, right? Because the fear is directly related to something in the environment,
mhm,
and those are things that we can affect change for, right?
mhm,
Um, and really, it's just about him changing his perception of the world and of you and of everything, right? And that's a process in and of itself that has nothing to do with, of course, our hormones involved. Yes, is
yeah,
the cortisol involved? Yes, but it's just one piece of the puzzle.
mhm, yeah.
Um,
I think this is really funny. Somebody said Robert and the barking at other dogs. Imagine she said another dog humped her dog. What is the fix? You gotta hump the dog.
well,
That's so funny. Or like that applies to like face licking. Like if my dog is licking my face, I'm like, leave me alone. You just start
yeah,
licking his
yeah.
face. Ugh.
Ugh, you
That's the
nasty
Robert
bitch.
Hynes method, I guess.
There
That's
you
what you
go.
got there.
That's radical behaviorism. But
Yeah.
but what was I gonna say here? What was I gonna say? God damn it, I'm having a problem with that today. Let me think here. What the fuck was I about to say? Anyway, whatever. I don't know why I keep forgetting things today. Let's go. Let's go through the comments real quick. Does anybody have any questions for Eden or anything, real quick, before we end it? You guys want to ask her anything, or I think what I was gonna say had something
Just
to do.
don't ask me too many questions because I'm still trying not to blow my cover here.
Oh yeah, yeah. We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Svetlana has not been properly trained yet.
Hmm. I might have to plead the fifth.
Yeah, she's going to plead the fifth. I don't know. Hey, I cannot tell you. I do not know. I have many questions. What did you say, Shane? I have many questions, but not what?
I have many questions, but not my client. So,
Don't you dare question
and
us,
then
Shane.
thank you for your courage to share, Eden. Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice.
Yes, yes.
I'm not really being courageous, in my opinion. I feel like I'm just
Well,
answering questions. So,
we think
but
you
thank
are.
you.
No, well, no. In you sharing this and being public about this, having the conversation with that, I think that showed guts. I do,
Oh,
personally.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So give yourself a pat on the back. Um, and obviously, like you said, the people in the comments, they, the video, I think people were overwhelmingly siding with you. So, um, and I
Yeah.
think they should, because to me, this is it's just it's a ridiculous situation, especially of all the other shit you've gone through with all these other people online, and this problem really shouldn't be so bad and so complicated. It's like,
Hmm.
but it's such a goddamn shit show, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, especially when I show up to people's home, like I had a session last week or maybe a week and a half ago, and I showed up and I showed them just some very simple things that were easy, and they just could not believe how just doing these little things made such a difference. And it can be that simple, but
Yeah.
you won't you would go online and you may hear completely opposite opinions, or you may hear, well, the dog needs to be drugged, or that you all this ridiculous bullshit.
Yeah.
And I show up, and in an hour, the dog is behaving completely different. It's like just really
Hmm.
simple stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, what would you say, Shane, if you guys do another live? Wait, what does that say?
Yeah.
If you
So
guys
if you guys do another live, I might try to poach you off, Kevin. JK, JK.
you
One
talking about
person.
Eden? You're gonna poach Eden? Oh, wait. Do you want her for some infiltration? Do you want her to? You can hire
Oh.
her. She could charge. What are you charging right now, Eden? What is the rate?
That's classified, Kevin. That's
That's
between me and you.
yeah. Email Eden. She'll give you her rates.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone said, I guess my only question is how long after you started and nothing was helping did you decide you needed another opinion? Um, well, if that's in regards to with reaching out to Kevin, um, it took like 3 months is how long I was in the group with Robert before I reached out to him. And what I said at the beginning of the live stream is I've given every option that I've tried. I've given it at least like 2 months at the very least to see if it worked, because I wanted um to really make sure that I was giving it my best and like trying it out to its logical conclusion. So yeah, it took me about 3 months before I reached out to Kevin. So
and that's fair in my opinion. Like, I think some people fail because they jumped around too quickly and too much. Like, if you
yeah,
commit to something, like, actually give it, try it out, give it your all, actually put it into practice and um, see if it does work. Because I know firsthand that there are things that I know work, but it is a process. It does take time. You have to do things a certain way, and there's no way around that.
mhm,
Especially with dogs who have issues that are rooted in fear. Sometimes that can take a little bit. Um, so it's only fair to actually commit to something and be like, I'll give this a shot. I'll let but where we should recognize that it's not working is if day after day after day, you say a couple of weeks, a few weeks down the road, and you've been doing something every day, and you're not noticing any change at all. Okay, well, obviously we need to change something, because it's not
yeah,
even if you're making slow progress, you should still be making some kind of, you should be
Yeah.
chipping away at the boulder, so to speak. But if you're not getting anywhere and things are getting worse, and now in some, this is where things can be confusing, because sometimes with some issues, um, when you and get, like, say for instance, if you have a dog who is more dominant minded and they're controlling things, well, the only way to overcome that is, I have to get in a power struggle with this dog. I have to
Yeah.
dominate the dog. And it can appear like it's making things worse because now you're challenging the dog for its position in the hierarchy. Well, the dog's
Hmm.
not going to be very agreeable to that. It's going to fight back. But it's really the only way to, you have to do that though in order to show the dog, no, I'm taking your
Yeah.
spot. And
Yeah.
it can appear at first like it's making things worse, but it's almost like, imagine having a kid where the kid's used to getting its way, and then finally you start telling it no, and the kid throws a fucking fit. Well, it can look like you're making things worse, but no, it's just you finally stood your ground and said no, and the kid's just fucking throwing a fit. Well, it's just part of the
Yeah.
process, you know.
Yeah. I
Um,
completely agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Someone said depending on the dog and the issue, 3 months might be plenty, or it may take a few more months to really see a
Yeah,
change. It's just judging a dog day by day.
I
And
agree.
I agree with that. But I felt like I would be seeing some improvement if
You
what
should.
Robert had told me had
You should.
worked. I didn't see improvement at all. So
It's like I told you with Petunia. It took Petunia and her owner about 5 months, but in that
yeah,
5 months time, there was we were making progress. We
yeah,
had some bumps in the road, some setbacks, and I tell all my clients that progress is never a straight line up, right? It's like a stock chart where it's going to be you have peaks and valleys, but if you look at the big picture, is the overall direction going up or are we going down? Because
yeah,
no matter what, you're gonna have, you're dealing with a living creature. There's gonna be little
right,
ups and downs, bumps in the road, but are we going in the right direction? And so,
yeah,
Petunia and her owner, yeah, it took about 5 months, but along that 5 months, we made a lot of progress along the way. We
yeah,
just had we just had some obstacles along the road, and that's completely normal. You know,
mhm,
it shouldn't be 5 months and like we're not seeing any improvement. Well, okay, no,
yeah.
something's wrong then.
Well, I think what I'm getting from what you're saying is it took 5 months to get from the beginning where everything was at its worst until the end, where like you felt like you were finished with having to work as diligently, I guess. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
So what I'm saying is, so yeah, from when I met Petunia and her owner to the 5 months, right? We were doing weekly sessions for, I don't know, a couple of months, and then
Yeah,
there'd be periods where I wouldn't hear from her, but I think after that she would just kind of sporadically call me and be like, "Hey Kevin, I need another session this week." So the sessions
yeah,
became less frequent, and she was starting to really do things on her own and make strides on her own, and then she would just call me if something happened or if she needed help with something.
hmm,
And so then we were, the sessions became less and less and less until
yeah,
at the end of that 5 months, I consider success to be like, the 5 month period is when she could call me up and say, Kevin,
right,
it's been like a month since Petunia has lunged at a dog, or I've taken her to all these different places, I've had people come in the home, and we haven't had a problem. So I
yeah,
want to see a level of consistency. So the 5 months includes her, me not talking to them, and then her sending me a random text one day and being like, "Oh, Kevin, hey, I have to tell you, Petunia has done beautifully. Petunia's doing great." And
right,
then that's when, because now we've achieved success, but it's consistent. It's
yeah,
reliable. And what's, like you said, you want a reliable dog. So that to me is part of the success, is you can
yeah,
rely on day to day. You could take Theoden out, and you can predict that he will see a dog and he's not going to freak out. And you can do that day
hmm,
after day after day after day. And maybe you go day after day after day after day after day, and then maybe this one day he has a little bit of a spat. Okay,
yeah,
cool. But are they becoming less infrequent? you're going from the spats being every day to, okay, now he's only having spats every other day, to, okay, he's having spats like once every few days, to, okay, it happens once a week, to,
Yeah.
it's been a couple weeks, to, shit, I can't remember the last time it happened. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like you're seeing it start to really spread out as far as like one of these incidents happening, and then when that happens, that actually gives us the ability to, okay, now we can examine the context. What was the situation? What were all the variables when he does have a spat, because it's been however many days or weeks. Okay, now we can really look at that situation and break it apart and see, like, all right, what was the thing that set him off here, because he's done
Hmm.
so great in all these other settings for the last week or two. What was
Hmm.
it about this situation that made the difference? And then we can continue to kind of put more of a magnifying glass on things, and then we can iron out the kinks, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I completely agree with that, and I was kind of waiting for somebody like you, Kevin, to be able to tell me that, because I don't think I should see instantaneous results. That's never been my goal. But I think I should, over time, start to see some,
You should.
and that's all.
Yeah, you should. And you should be noticeable. You should be able to feel it. You should be able to sense it. You should be able to see it. Just like the videos you sent me, where, I started watching them, and the first video, Theoden was heightened. And then by the time I got to the last video, you say, even though it was the same day, the same outing, at the end of it, I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And you even say, you're like, I know this may not be a big deal to you, but like, this is a huge deal for me.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear that, it is a huge deal for me. So because it is a huge deal for you, and I know what it's like to be in that position where
Uh-huh.
you've never experienced it before, and you're like, it may not seem big to you, but I look at it and I'm like, well, it is big, because you've never
Yeah.
seen your dog.
Well, good.
Once I can show you that your dog is capable of it, that's all we need.
Hmm.
Because now you see, like you said, though, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, okay, we can get somewhere with him. He can do it. And now, like you said, it doesn't need to be perfect. And anybody out here who is trying to convince you or sell you on this idea that, oh, I'll get you your perfect, and you're never gonna get perfection.
Yeah.
But you noticed right away, like, this is the best he's ever been. Okay, what was it perfect? No, didn't need to be. But was it a lot better than what you're used to? Yeah.
Hmm.
And we just keep moving down that road. We tweak things as we need to. We adjust things as we need to. We troubleshoot as we need to, because there's
Right.
undoubtedly going to be hurdles to overcome and things to iron out,
Yeah.
and that's is part of the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I get excited when I see that, because I know how excited you are, and it's
Hmm.
like, it really makes my day, because I was like, yes.
Yeah. I was super happy when I saw him do that, because yeah, behind fences, seeing dogs behind fences is usually his biggest thing. So to see improvement in like um just a week of working on more kind of structured walks, and like actual structured walks,
Right.
and
Right.
yeah, and just kind of reversing some of the crazy stuff I had done with Robert. That was I was really excited about that, to see such improvement in just such a short amount
I love it, and that makes me excited for you, and so
of time. Well, thank you.
that's what's rewarding for me, is to be able
Yeah.
to put that power back in your hands, and to give you that feeling of after all the shit you've been through, it's like,
Yeah.
finally, okay, I think we can get somewhere,
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do, so
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Eden. Does anybody else have anything for Eden before we go, or any questions, anything you want to say? Yeah, I agree. OT perfect isn't required. I can't read the rest of that, but really, improvement
It
happens when
says
we can work
perfect isn't
to.
required, but really, as long as improvement happens, then we can work to quote perfect. Honestly, what matters is dogs living. I don't get it. We rarely see the hard dogs of the past, but seems more dogs are failed. We're becoming weaker or something. My dad has a Jag Terrier. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. And her dogs, and he's
Maybe
beagle.
Jack Russell Terrier? I think is that what you meant? OT Jack Russell Terrier.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Or no, I think that's a different breed. I think I've heard of it, but I can't remember.
Is it? No, I never heard of that one. Okay.
He's 80 today, and I'm sure he can get a pet dog in shape.
Well, if it's his birthday, happy
cool.
birthday to him. Yeah. No, I hear you, OT. It's about reaching a place where you have a relationship with your dog where day after day it's peaceful. There's no conflict. You can take him out into the world. You can rely on him. You can trust him. We build the trust the right way.
Right.
And you just have a good thing going where it's not a headache. It's not a constant. You're not in a constant state of worry. What's going to happen? Especially being a pit bull. Reaching that place where you have peace of mind it's a great place. So that is how you say it. Jag Terrier. I've never heard of that. Jag Terrier.
Yeah, Jag Terrier. They're super hard to train dogs used for hunting. Imagine a Jack Russell but wilder.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of them. They're larger. They're a little larger than a Jack Russell. Terriers in general, I did a lot of research after getting one because I didn't really know how much terrier is even still in like an American pit bull terrier because of like the breed mixes and stuff. But yeah, Jag Terriers, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, they look pretty cool. I don't know if I would ever specifically purchase a terrier after having a pit bull, but
because I've never heard of this dog.
yeah, mine is a good dog. Besides just the reactivity with other dogs, he's a really good dog. I enjoy him. So.
Okay, good. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Wonderful. One day at a time, Eden. We'll get you. We'll peel back the layers of the onion, as they say.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I hear that. I've heard people talk about the terrier brain too, Shane. But again, thank you guys for showing up. I know this was a nice hefty one today. So Eden, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on and sharing your experience and your side of things, and giving us some insight into what it's like to be on your side of the fence. Even though I know most of you watching are dog owners, you guys know what it's like to be on the sidelines watching, or I don't know how many of you know what it's like to have a dog with problems and be out here looking for help and have paid people and gone through what Eden's gone through. I'm not sure, but thank you for sharing your story, and I know you're not the only one. So I'm sure there are a lot of people, if they run across this, we'll probably see some stories in the comment section.
Yeah.
Because I've had other clients too who have they've not necessarily with the online people, but they've sent their dogs to board and trains, or they hired this person or whatever, and it didn't work, and but I don't think I've ever met anyone in person who bought like an online course or something, So it's a little bit your story is unique in that regard,
Yeah.
Well, Eden, do you have anything else you want to say before we go, or any last words?
I don't, but I'm gonna let the guy in question make a special appearance.
Oh, that's right. Where is he?
Go. I'll flip this over for you guys if I can. Well, I don't know. I'll just show you from this angle.
There he is. Look
there
at
he
him.
is.
There he is.
Been sleeping peacefully this whole time. So.
He does kind of have a Shar-Pei look to him.
He kind of does, yeah. When his ears are forward, he's got some pretty gnarly wrinkles for like a pit bull, but
He's got a Sharpei face, like his eyebrow ridge kind of looks Sharpei. The wrinkles, yeah.
yeah,
He probably has some Sharpei in him. I wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised.
That's what I've thought. I think he'd be mixed up with anything. It could be anything. But,
Right.
but yeah, he's a good boy. This is how he is most of the time.
Right.
The only time he's crazy is when he's seeing
That's
another
right.
dog. But
That's
this is his usual state of mind. So.
Yes. And that's how it should be inside. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, he's really good at it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Theoden, we'll get you squared away, buddy. Don't worry.
He's
All
like,
right.
okay, thanks, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, stretch it out, buddy.
There you go, buddy.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you again for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for commenting. Appreciate y'all being here. I'm gonna post this. Well, the first part is up. I'll post this here in a little bit. I got to do a couple other things first, but if you guys missed the first part, go ahead and you can start at the beginning. Otherwise, everybody have a great Sunday. Thank you again, and Eden, thank you again for your time. I'll be in, I'll be in touch very soon, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day,
All right.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you guys
You're
for
welcome.
watching this.
Who's that at the bottom? Oh, is that about? Yeah, I'm not a fan of unnecessarily drugging dogs. To me, it's the drugs are overprescribed for dogs. I've never worked with a dog who had a behavioral issue where we needed drugs. In fact, I've had clients who were able to get their dogs off of drugs, and so for me, it's never. I find that a lot of the veterinaries or the vet behaviorists nowadays, since they don't actually understand the root causes of a lot of these issues, their only solution is drug the dog. And it's if you have an issue that's rooted in of a social nature in the dog, then drugging the dog is not really going to help anything. And I've had clients even who their dog was on like a cocktail of drugs, and it didn't really it didn't change anything. The dog was still the same. It didn't affect anything. In some cases, it makes things worse. So for me, there's so many other variables that we would have to look at to figure out why is the dog doing this. What kind of relationship do I have with the dog? What's the history of the dog? There's so many other things we would look at first before does this dog need drugs? You know what I mean? But I appreciate the question. And I'm sorry you came in right at the end, but if you want to, you're welcome. I've never heard of xylocaine. Have you heard of xylocaine?
I don't know what that is
I've
either.
never heard of that. You know what? Let me hold on. Let me type it in real quick. I'll look this up later, but I've never heard of xylocaine. I'll look into this. Okay. Is it Zilkeen?
Yeah, it's Zylkene.
Well, I typed that in, but it came up Zilkeen. Capsules for cat. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, let me look into that. You're welcome. But you since my phone is fucked up, I can't see your. Well, you know what? I'll screenshot it here. I got your tag. Yeah, I'll look into this and I'll tag you. But again, thank you all for joining. You in particular, if you want to start from the beginning, this will be posted. The first part's already up, so because you're coming in right at the end here, so I apologize. But once again, everybody, thank you so much. Eden, enjoy your Sunday. Theoden, enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys soon. All right, have a great day, guys.
All right,
thank you.
thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Bye.